can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
In the year of our Lord, 1442, the Turkish Sultan enslaved 1,000 Transylvanian boys to fill the ranks of his army. These child slaves were beaten without mercy, trained to kill without conscience, to crave the blood of all who defied the Turks.
I will have my 1,000 boys. And one more. Your son will be raised under my roof. I'll find a way.
Through the forest, bodies move slow, tread close with them, feet sinks into snow, hands pull us under. What you have done, they fear, they fear, the vast unknown. The way back closed, the skies above dark, our minds remain scared, we calm our hearts, fear won't blind us. They know what you have done. They fear, they fear the vast unknown. The truth was spoken, the words were said, our names are heard, signs sprayed on walls, a message has been spread, nothing is left unsaid.
Well, hello, everyone.
I did this amazing intro and I was muted.
You gotta make sure you unmute yourself, man.
That is the way we do things here. Sadly, I'm always muted, which is good because, like, I mean, I talk too much shit. But I don't throw my children under the bus.
Oh no.
Even though I don't have children, I still wouldn't throw my family's children under the bus, right?
Maybe that depends.
Yeah. And it really depends, right, on what sort of person you are to throw your children under the bus, especially one that is special needs. You know,
That's a shitty thing to do, man.
that is such a shitty thing to do, dude. I was gutted when I heard that because, like, see, for people who don't unaware, actually, welcome to the art show, right?
Right.
This is the monkey art show. We try to have some fun. We try to celebrate the great things that are out there that are entertaining. We try not to cause drama. We try not to be part of drama, but sometimes we have to call out drama because sometimes people just forget that the internet is forever,
Right.
and that you can't put your children out on information about your children out on the internet because there are creeps around.
Especially especially when you're talking so much shit about people, and
Yeah.
then people find out that you have a targeted ad that you were showing next to whatever else you were talking about, and so now people know that you wear diapers.
Yeah, man. I mean, just laugh it off. Yeah. I mean, like, we all get old, right? Bodies break down. That's the whole thing about, living long life or living past 50 is like your body's going to break down. Hell, mine broke down about in 2007 when I had a car accident. So I have to walk around with a walking stick.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm 100-year-old every day I wake up. It's like, oh, God, it hurts. Do I need to get up? Yeah, I do need to get up. It's another day to do some work.
Yeah, totally.
So before I go forward, if you like the whole story about Dracula Untold, which is amazing movie, right? I gave it a 7 out of 10, which is like 2 above average, which, I might even give it an 8 later because I thought it was, when I watched it again, it was for, editing the video clip. It really made me think about that this is later on about after what happened with Dracula. This is like after, it's about his family, whereas like it was about his wife in the first one, right? And so this is about his son, and what really made me remember about what happened with Ethan Van Sciver and his autistic daughter, and him wearing a diaper and not her, was that because he brought his daughter into it, was that he like Dracula here, right? Luke Evans sacrifices himself, like his entire country, for his son. It's like, I am not going to give up my son, right? Oh, your father gave up, you. No, he said, like, I'm not going to give up my son, right? So yeah, Luke Evans in this is like plays an amazing role as Vlad the Vampire, and that's what made me think about that, Tim. Like 20 years ago, like, I mean, like, we're talking about 26 years ago, when internet was just coming in, social media. I was at film school, and I said to my sister, I said, because that's when she was having, I think might have been just before that, after that, sorry, might have been like around about 2010, maybe 16 something years ago. Anyway, I said to my sister, I said, listen, don't put any of our kids on the internet with their baby photos and stuff, because there's creeps. I'm just hanging out on social media, and people are, creeping out on other people's children. And now people are using AI, using their neighborhood kids.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, taking photos and putting on the faces of AI babies and children. And I'm like, this is the next level of creepiness,
Yeah.
But yeah, be like Vlad. Do not sacrifice your children to for fame, right? For fortune.
Yeah.
But yeah, great movie, Dracula Untold.
I haven't watched a Dracula film since the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Wow, that's a long time ago. I watched that on VHS.
Yeah, Gary Oldman was a pretty good Dracula.
Yeah, he definitely was, man. Let's bring that up because him and Keanu, dude,
Keanu
really,
was not. If it was for Gary Oldman being so good and the guy who played Van Helsing being so good, it would have been a
yeah,
bit of a crappy movie because let's face it, Keanu could not act very well.
yeah. Well, he has he's got the stoicness that he's known for, right? And so with Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, right, in '92, here you
I thought,
need a bad guy, right? You need a
right.
villain as powerful as can be to make your make your hero stand out. That's why Joker is such a horrible person, and opposite him, you've got Batman, Bruce Wayne, who is like playing a dual role, right? He's a nice guy, a playboy, doesn't care about anything, and when he puts on that cowl, he's like, "Yo, I am gonna sacrifice my life for the city, right? For Gotham."
The clean slate.
Yeah. I actually just received a Batman. Where is it? Let me show you. Just before I came on, like, I got delivered a Batman Lego set from the superhero series, and it cost me about $33 delivered in New Zealand, right? And it's this Nightcrawler. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
So it's this really cool. It came like really cool Lego set. It came out way back. Let me just go off this before and then come back to that after since we were mentioning Batman. Segue a bit, and it's this one here.
Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me, I had to cough. So yeah, so you can see here, this is like it's got the Flash, but this one didn't. This is missing the Flash, but I got these fly people, whatever they're called, and then I've got Batman in there. So this is a set that I don't have, and so it was going up for about $25. On the local online auction thing we've got here called Trade Me, which is like huge, like it's our main one for New Zealand. And so I was able to grab it, and I had the guy send it across. It cost me $8 delivered, which is around about $5 US. But I don't have it, so I thought like, yeah, cool, and I've got a couple more that I haven't even actually opened up that I decided that I'm going to build a big huge castle, but also I'm going to buy as many Lego Batman stuff as I can, and and not at retail, because I'm not paying full price. So I always buy it like secondhand and on auction, because that way, it's cheaper. And who doesn't like cheap stuff, right?
Right. How often do you have stuff missing?
Oh, every now and then they'll tell me how many pieces. Like, you'll find out how many pieces are missing, and it doesn't really matter because I've got enough to fill it out. The ones that are worse is when it's only comes with that set and that piece is missing from that set. That sucks, bro. It's like there's one that came out of Harry Potter castle set from Hogwarts, and it was missing one piece, and I can't go any further unless I, fake it, put a fake piece in. Because that's what sucks about it sometimes when they have like limited pieces just for that item. But back to Dracula, since we're on the Dracula thing, this like I said, bro, like Keanu, like with his with his John Wick, it's like just killing it, right? Everybody loves that because everybody wants to be that guy, right? Every male wants to be that guy, right? To sacrifice it all for the better good. And I think this is something that like females who write male characters never will understand. And because they don't understand the mindset of a male, and it's hard for female writers to get it until they really get it, right? And because there are things about males that like just are ingrained into us since we were born. If our parents are good, right, are good parents, if we're raised by good parents, or good, especially a good father, right? It's like, take care of your sister, take care of your mom. That's the two rules in life, right? And stand up against the bullies. So I'm going to play this. This is, of course, our what is it? R17. So we do have a warning for this, always for this stream. So let's go. Let's watch this. This is like what, 34 years ago? 90. Wow, dude, that's 92. That's 24 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here occurred the frightening and shocking history of Prince Dracula and the woman he loved.
I have crossed oceans of time to find you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dracula.
There's a sinister, darker side to him. I find irresistible. I have never met any man with such a passion for life. He is unlike any man. What are you?
Vampires do exist. This one we fight, this one we face. Can take on many forms. He is both young and old. He can appear as mist, as vapor, as the fog. And he can vanish at will.
Oh, my love.
The power of his evil desire has no end.
You've got to go to him. You've got to love him.
She is a willing recruit, a devoted disciple. She is the devil's concubine. Devil!
Join me in eternal life.
Your salvation is his destruction.
I want to be what you are. I want to see what you see. I want to love what you love. Take me away from all this death.
Make no mistake, he must be stopped.
That's his name, Anthony Hopkins. I'm terrible with names, I tell you. But like, yeah, Gary Oldman, like Anthony Hopkins, everybody else made Keanu Reeves better. Hello?
Sorry, the hero is only made better by the villain, right? The strength of the
Right.
villain.
Oh, okay, that's the
The
story. I'm
evilness.
talking about the actors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. So like Gary Oldman playing that really crazy role, right? And
He
over the
did
top.
pretty-
That
he did-
laughter, dude.
Yeah,
That
he did
laughter.
amazing.
Yeah.
But he
That-
always does really good villains, like The Professional. He was that crooked
Yeah,
cop.
Leon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leon the Professional.
Everyone.
Yeah. Let's look at that. So this is another great movie you got to watch, man.
That
because-
whole line was ad lib too.
Was it?
Yeah.
So this is So this 2 years after he did Dracula, he comes and does this one.
Yep.
Where he's a bad cop in this, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like a crooked cop. Yeah.
All right, let's have a look.
Pill
at
popping cop. Yep.
Oh, hold on. So let's give you a background to the story. So when this is Is it Natalie Portman?
Natalie
God, I thought it
Portman.
was.
Yep.
I thought it was somebody else. Gosh, and I think this was Jean Reno's first outing as in a. No, this was a French film. So yeah, kind of like an American French film, right?
Yeah.
Where is it? There's a crossover. Where are we? Get to the bottom here. Yeah. So there's like French, Italian. That's it. So it was the first crossover between Luc Besson, and Luc, as you know, is like friggin' amazing director. Like this was his. I think this is the one that made him cross over. That made him everybody in Hollywood look up and go, "Yo, this is a new guy. This is the guy, right? The new director that we got to keep an eye on." And look at that! It won 5 awards and 16 nominations. So you got best actor for best film. He got a best film for that. John Reno got best actor, and then again for another, he got nominated again, best director again, and then best music, and best cinematography, best editing, best sound, right? And then of course you got best film in Czech Lions. And then best foreign film in the Japanese award. So yeah, even the Japanese said it was as a foreign film, it's one of the greatest of that year in '95. So yeah, I didn't realize it was Natalie Portman, and she, man, as a child actor, she was great in this.
Yeah, I kind of thought the character might have been socially stunted.
You mean
the main character?
I was going to read what it's about, so people, So when a family is murdered by a group of corrupt officers led by tyrannical Norman Stansfeld, a young 12-year-old girl enlists the help of an Italian-American hitman to seek revenge. So now this kind of reminds me of the story that I wrote, sci-fi story that I haven't even actually finished, actually made into a comic book yet. But it's kind of different. Like the whole take on it is different because it's sci-fi, but I actually wrote about 10 45-page scripts for it, plus 2 hour and 30-minute, 90-minute script. It's for the pilot and pilot to issue 2 because season 2, because I was supposed to make it into a movie, like a TV show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like when I was at film school. I was writing all this while I was working part-time and studying full-time, because I just wanted to be a filmmaker, dude. I just wanted to be a writer, so I was writing every chance I got. So yeah, it's 450 pages just for the episodes, plus a 90 page there. But yeah, let's go check this out, because it's been a long time since I watched this, even the trailer, right?
Let's talk business. This guy comes to town every Tuesday. Are you free Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm free Tuesday.
You can't stop what you can't see.
This guy came from the outside. He was a pro. He was fast.
In the art of the kill, Leon was the master.
Somebody's coming up. Somebody's serious.
He never missed a hit. He never got caught.
You're indestructible. Bullets slide off you. You played with them.
And above all else, he never had a reason to care. Until now.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
My family was shot down by DEA officers.
3 kids here. One of them is missing. Find her.
Please open the door. Please.
From the director of La Femme Nikita.
If you don't help me, I'll die tonight. I can feel it.
An innocent girl with no one else to turn to.
What exactly do you do for a living?
Cleaner.
You mean you're a hitman? Cool.
A perfect assassin.
I need you to help me, Leon. I want to get those dirtbags who killed my brother.
With someone to finally believe in.
Change ain't good. Remember that, Leon.
I will.
They're about to come face to face with the cop who's crossed the line.
Bring me everyone. You mean everyone?
Gaumont. Gaumont is a well-known French film studio production company, and they do a lot of animation as well.
Oh.
Now,
one of these days, I'm gonna have to try to break into animation.
yeah, it's with AI, like
Oh no, I don't want. I'd rather do like the way they used to animate those old He-Man cartoons or Heavy Metal or something.
I fully am behind it. So no, what I'm trying to say, yeah. So to help yourself, if you put your own work into AI and say, hey, look, animate these characters, and then take that like stills from that and redraw it into the way you want it, color it the way you want it, it's an interesting process. I've been looking into it and like,
oh really?
So yeah, so you can actually, you yourself who never animated before can actually animate it because you're using stills, right? And when I was at film school, what I would do is like I would take my short films and I'd put it into Photoshop. I think it was Photoshop, and have it cut up every single frame. And then and every time you did a minute of frames or second frames, what it'll do is it'll spit out a gray frame, and you need to go in there it was degraded frame, and you had to remove that, bro. And it was a heartache, bro. It was like a hell. But I did do it for about 2 short films, and it was interesting process. If you use, like, it's basically the next step up is going from rotoscoping that way, right, using Photoshop to like still, cut up each frame, and then going into AI and then using that to rotoscope it, and then taking that again and then drawing it up yourself, right, and not letting AI do it for you, but actually using it for yourself and doing that. It's interesting. You should look into that.
I should.
And I'm not saying like I use AI as the final thing. No, I'm saying use it as a tool to create your own animation. It's like me, like buying a friggin' Wacom tablet to learn how to color myself, right? Color flat myself, so that I can cut down costs for myself by actually coloring my own, my artist's work. So let me show you what I mean by that. So my artist right now, last night, one of my artists, right, sent me this, and I just put out size. This is the final cover to the entire project that we're putting out on Kickstarter, which you can sign up to. Did I put in the link? Oh, I didn't even put in the link. Let me get the link. So you can actually use this. I mean, not use this, sorry. Because it costs like thousands of bucks to get somebody to color it for you. But also, it's if you guys, let me get my thoughts here. I'm like all over the place trying to get the link and everything. So my artist, James D. Hill, last night sent me this final cover that I asked him at the last minute, right? We're supposed to go live this week, right? I just saw something in the chat. Did you see something in the chat? Have a look at the chat. This is from because we're streaming on 3 different platforms. We're streaming on Twitch, X, and Planch Comics on YouTube. So
Cheap
wherever
to use.
yeah,
What is that? Is that like an ad or something?
yeah, it's an ad. Yeah. So yeah, wherever you guys are watching, please hook over, jump over to YouTube, open up a tab, do give us a like, a subscription, or subscribe, whatever, and share. Thank you. We'd love for you guys to get notifications from us and come and hang out with us more often. So this is the artwork that he sent through last night while I was watching, on live stream on Wiggle, I think it was, and out of Pangea. And so this is based on, let me show you the thumbnails, right? So this is the thumbnails we decide upon because he sent some work through, and I said, okay, let's have a look at the different things and let me see what I think is thing. So he sent this. Sorry, it's a bit dim there, and let's get this one here as well. Let's get this right up. Okay, so he said about 4, right? 4 different ones, and so he said, okay, because I said to him what I was looking for, and then he's so he said this one, which was, let me move this across, right? This one here, and then of course this one, if I can get it to bigger, right? So that one there, and also, this is the 2 different ones on the same page. So this one, the grave, or the hole in the ground, and then you've got this one. Then the last one is this one here, right? So this is the last 4 different pages. Examples where he's looking. So he sees face, but I don't want to show his face. So this is why I said, I went and said, okay, out of those 2, I decided to squish them together and go, okay, this is who I want, right? I want body 2, body 3, Lamia. That's the word. It's like the half human upper body and then snake lower body, right? And then of course the 9-tailed fox over here, and then dirt and so on and fade. So from that we got this. And so there you go. You got the Lemire, you got the 2 bodies. So you've got here. This is the this is the Valraven here. This is I always forget his freaking name. Fuzzy Grim. That's the Fuzzy Grim there, and of course the Nine-tailed fox. And you actually put the ears on there so you could see there was like a fox ears. And so then, because this is why I'm getting to this, is that now I get to do the colors, right? So I'm laying down the color flats. Then once I'm finished the color flats, I'm going to send this across to my colorist to do the final touch-ups, to do the shading and stuff. So I've basically spent a couple of hours on this, and I still haven't finished, of course, because, I got to go in and get touch up, fill in all these spots here. But last night I was up like till about 3, 4 in the morning, and my eyes were closing, so I had to shut down. But yeah, so I think about a year or 2 years ago, I decided that I might as well color these myself, color flat them to help myself, right? Keep the cost down. Because it's only me and my artists who are working on our comics at the end of the day. And depending who the artist is, it's just me and him coloring as well. Now, back to John Reno, right? So this really popped John Reno out into, that is Leon the Professional, really popped him out into the, America, right? And so with that, he started showing up in a lot of, because of all the winnings, he's, awards and stuff, he started showing up a lot into American movies and stuff. So let's see, so 94, 95. So this is it here, right? 8.5. So that's a pretty high mark for a French movie with then he came up and look at that.
Yep.
Mission Impossible. He was in the very first Mission Impossible in 96.
Yep.
Right? Then Godzilla, right? Then you got I can't remember Ronan that well. Somebody's dying in Idaho tonight.
Oh, yeah, that might be that was a ambulance, I think.
Oh, ambulance. Well, hopefully they're not dying.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah. Have you ever seen this movie, man?
Rollerball?
Yeah.
Probably.
I remember seeing it on VHS when it first came out because it was like it had what's his name in it? LL Cool J, right?
Mhm.
And so check this out. Wait, what is going on with the screen? Oh, here we go.
You push the limits. But on February 8th, do you have what it takes? Rollerball, rated PG-13. Get in the game February 8th.
That was it. That was a trailer. It's like, okay, very interesting.
It was kind of like short to the point.
Yeah, but it was like, what? You don't know. You're like, you don't even hear from the,
Yeah, you don't even know who's in it. It's not like in a world, or just when you thought it was safe to go rollerballing.
Yeah, that's it. It's like you should have something more like that. So, but I think this is one of his lower rated movies, old John Reno, and you can't really blame him because wasn't that good a film. Let me see, John McTiernan. What else has he been on? Oh, dude. So he's done some good work. Look at that. Last Action Hero. It's one of my favorite movies. I love Last Action Hero, man. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love it.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah. See, and I think Rollerball was a failure for him. Look at that compared to 7.8, 8.2, 6.5. All right. So if you've ever seen Rollerball, Last Action Hero was twice as good as Rollerball. Right. But yeah, so I didn't realize he had done all those other movies as well, John McTiernan. But yeah, Jean Reno, man, class act. He's like an officer and a gentleman, he's one of those guys. He's like Keanu, right? Like really, really good person. I've never heard anything bad about him. Dude speaks 4 languages. Look at that: Spanish, English, French, and Italian. And so he appeared a lot in Luc Besson's early movies. Now, what's a standout? Oh, look, he even did voices in Zootopia last year.
Yeah.
Whereas
there's not very many movies that I've seen in him and I thought, this is a good movie. I just that Professional just was an interesting film.
Yeah. He usually plays bad kind of like side characters or bad characters. But I think he's one of those guys who commands the role when he's in it, just because of his accent.
Yeah. But he definitely was that character in The Professional.
Mm. Yeah. All right. So let me put up a couple clips here for kind of a bit of a break. Check out this one. I came across this. Was it yesterday or the day before? And I thought this was funny. And This is like those little posted signs where you go out and pick up the phone number and you call them if you want a job or something, or if they're selling something. So
Tired
this
of being a bird.
Yeah, so this dude put this on a poll. Poor bird.
Nah.
All day they got to work, bro. Like they got to fly around. Like otherwise, they got to either sit around.
They get the shit
or
on
fly.
cars and get away with it.
Yeah, dude. I was in a park. I was in the middle of our city here on a bench, about to just chatting to my mate. There's like about 20 odd years ago, and I was just like didn't have my head on, right? And this bird just pooped in my head, flying across, and I'm like, so I leaned over to my female friend who was next to me and said, "Hey, son, because I think we were eating, because I must have a tissue, or I pulled a tissue out of my pocket. Hey, can you just wipe my head?" She goes, "What do you mean?" Like, lowered my head and said, "Yo, here," and she's just cracked up. I was like, yeah. Random act, right? It's like you never think that this would happen. Like, yeah, get a bird pooped on my head while we were out in the middle of town on a nice sunny day. And then I went across and washed it off. But I was like, crack up. It's like, you never know, man. Like, it's like,
What'd you do, man? What'd you do
I
to
didn't
piss
do
off that
nothing,
bird?
dude.
Oh,
I did
bullshit.
nothing.
You did something. You did something to piss off that bird. He was out to get you.
Maybe it remembered when it was younger and I was like chasing it away or something,
Like, that motherfucker, I'm gonna crap on him right now.
I want to show you something that I thought was incredible, right? This has got to be the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Like, well, not most, but one of them, right? So let me see if I. This is about a what's it like? K-pop idol or something like that. J-pop idol. But check this out. Wait, hold on.
There's something.
Nah, bro. This story low-key broke my heart, but it also made me respect her heavy. So there's this Japanese idol named Yuka Akiyoshi. She's part of HKT48, and recently, she had a solo performance. Guess how many people showed up? One person in the entire venue. Videos came out, and the place looked almost empty. Just one fan in the crowd. Nah, bro. That's villain origin backstory material. But she didn't crash out. She still delivered her performance with full energy and professionalism. That one fan basically got a private concert. And when the videos hit social media, people weren't clowning her. They were praising her, saying that kind of professionalism shows real respect, not just for the job, but for the one supporter who showed up. Because at the end of the day, that one person matters. That's how careers are built, from one fan to thousands. Nah, bro. This story,
How's that, dude?
Yeah. I mean, you could. I have a small handful of readers, and I don't think I'm a failure.
But the thing is that she didn't just go, okay, well, there's only one person, so okay, guys, sorry, I'll give you your money back. Apologies,
Or she didn't go around blaming everybody else for it,
Yeah. And she just went hard out with the energy, right? And I thought that was just great because, like, that dude, man, he must have felt so special knowing that he's the only person who got to enjoy that concert all by himself, like, center of attention, right? She's giving everything she's got here, and she's practiced over and over, because I know, like, when we're doing like stage plays, dude, or even like little 5-minute skits, we'd be practicing for days on end, right? or weeks, depending how big the project was. And you'd show up and you go through that entire 3 hour or 1 hour, I think it was like hour and a half, 90-minute shows, and just practice,
Right.
so that when you actually performed, you didn't, fall
Yeah,
flat.
she wasn't like, woe is me, and it's everybody but me, it's all your fault, and all you to blame
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, I thought this was, man. You can never like, and the dude was right. No, you have to start somewhere, right? And a lot of times these people who forget when they're big name stars that where they came from, and so they treat people like they're peasants, and they're the kings, and everybody else are the peasants. Especially in indie comics, right? It feels like if you've got a big name and people with a big name come into the community, they think that they're the center, they're the most important people. But really, this lady, this young girl basically shows that, like, that one person who turns up is more important than the thousands that, just as important, I should say, as the thousands that turn up, right? So the next little clip here is, I know the story, but I didn't know the story this way. So I'm going to show you this. This is about One Punch Man writer, right? Artist. Check out this the story, dude. I think I'm going to have to go down and then back.
His parents found his drawings and told him to quit, but the world called him a genius. This is One, a manga artist with one real problem. He genuinely could not draw. In manga, art is everything. Critics said it, publishers said it, even he said it. So he hid his 50 notebooks full of ideas away from everyone for years. Then one night, he posted a chapter online. Now, the art was rough, but the story was unlike anything anyone had ever read. Within weeks, Japan's most celebrated manga artists were tweeting about it. One of them, a prodigy who designed a video game character at the age of 12, read every single chapter in one night. Then he ended up in a hospital, and he was afraid that he might not make it, and thought, if I'm going to die, I want to draw manga with this man. So he tracked One down and begged him to work with him. That free webcomic became the sensation One Punch Man. 30 million copies were sold, a global anime franchise worth over $1 billion. Turns out he was never bad at manga. He was just better at the part that nobody teaches, the story. His parents found his drawings.
So everybody goes on about the art. The more detailed, the better. The more time you spend on it, the better. But One Punch Man proved, and One, of course, is pseudonym, proved that it's not the art that matters. It's actually the story. Because if you look at novels, there's no pictures in novels, but they send millions and millions and millions of books, right? Of course, in comics, it's a sequential art. It's about the marrying of story and art. But if the story is shit, nobody's ever going to remember it, because it's the story that makes people remember the character. It's like Leon, right? The reason you remember Leon is because of the character in that movie, or why we remember Dracula even so many hundreds of years later, right? Since it first came out, that we still talk about Dracula. We still keep making movies about Dracula. I mean, Dracula, there was a movie just made about Dracula last year, right? And I don't know how well that did, but the fact that One Punch Man, has sold 30 million copies because they kept the character looking the way it was, kept everybody the way they're supposed to be, but just did it, drew it better. But the story was what brought people to it. And I think a lot of times people get so confused about, the art's got to be so detailed. And I think it just it stops people from actually putting work out.
Or they
Yeah.
they spend way too much money on things when they you don't have to spend all that money to make something all that good.
And not only that, they want to like get big name artists to do it, right? And by getting big name artists to do stuff, they spend so much money on that art, right? Oh, I need Jay Lee to do me a cover, or else, there's no point. And then so then you go buy the Jay Lee cover, and then inside it's just crap. The story's crap, right? I've heard so many people talk about how, the Comicsgate comics inside, like their stories are so shit, right?
Or what about they end up in the red, and they can't finish the book.
Yeah, or it takes 6 years to do 10, 20 pages, right? I think the problem is that people get hung up about the art rather than like thinking about the story, right? And I mean, as a comic fan for over 40 friggin' years, right? About to be 53 next month, or is it month after May, right? I mean, over 40 years of looking at comics, I've read freaking goofy all the way to like high, amazing graphic art comic books, right? Like Alan Moore or something like that, where it's so detailed and the story's so in depth. But at the end of the day, people are just gonna read it for the story. They flip through that art page, bro, so quickly, right? If you don't, I think a person stays on a single page as long as they can. A person stays on a page as long as it takes them to finish that page of reading, right? Of reading that text. And I think the problem is that a lot of times these artists, so-called professionals, think that people are just going to stay on that page for 10 minutes looking at every single detail of that art. They're not. Nobody does that. These are like 15-minute books, right? People are just flipping through these books. They're not really, spending hours on it, on a single issue. And I think this is what confuses them, confuses professional artists who are, I think, are a bit uppity about it, than to actually think about, okay, what is the purpose of this book, right? It's a 15-minute read. It's nothing more than a 15 to 20-minute read. That is a 22-page comic book, right? So when you look at a manga and stuff, people are just, quickly going through this, looking at the images, just to get it in their head. That's what's happening there, reading it, and going through. So at the end of the day, you're not really thinking about, oh, right, oh, what is that person thinking? Oh, look who's sitting at the back here, oh, what's going on with the bag here and all this. They're all part and parcel of the tapestry, right? It's just like a picture, right? It's just there. And it's just, but the main thing here is that people saying stuff, thinking stuff, situational stuff, but this is the background's just there to fill her out, right? So a lot of times manga doesn't do a lot of filler art because they understand that people aren't spending too much time there on that book. They're spending more time reading it. But One Punch Man proved that, right?
Yep.
That the story is what matters. And same thing here, right? If you go with the manga, then you look at the, with Howler and, let's get this up to size, people are just moving across this as quick as they can read, and then they'll come back in case if they miss something. Because I'm just going off what I'm thinking, right? The way I read a comic book. Sometimes if I go, oh wait, I think I missed something, and I'll go back and look at, oh, that's right, this is what's happening here. Okay. Because sometimes you're so used to reading comics so fast that it doesn't, it moves a bit. Your brain doesn't, you kind of read too fast and you have to go back to catch up on it. And I feel like that people, these so-called professional artists who turned up in indie comics have basically tried to gaslight everybody into thinking, that their work is way better than everybody else's, and therefore the story doesn't matter, right? It's the art. It's the art. Now I want to show you something that that Tim posted on his.
Oh yeah, and just from the rough, it got like 16 likes.
Yeah, but that's not that. This is what matters, right?
Oh yeah.
The likes don't matter. It's the analytics. So you look at the analytics, right? This is what I try to work at here. See, it's the views. Like, not everybody's going to take the time to click your button or anything, right? But it's what
271 people.
Yeah. So this is like was it like the rough?
Yeah, it's a rough right there.
And this is for the his first trade paperback.
Yes.
Actually, you talk about it. I'll just show it.
Yeah, it's gonna have the trade paperback's gonna have issues 0 through 3. We're almost done with issue 4, so once we promote that for a bit, I just thought about getting the cover done. We'll take our time on it, but
yeah. Follow Tim here on X, so you can see he regularly updates what he's doing with his work.
Yeah, right. my team and I. Yeah, we won't leave you in a lurch. We won't overhype ourselves. We're just gonna give you the real deal. Yeah.
Plus, this work is finished before he puts it out, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is the same with us. So, because the thing is, like, it's important to friggin' nowadays have your work finished, right, Tim? Because there's too many people here saying, "Oh, you know what? Give us your money, and maybe in 5 years' time, we will give you something." If that, right?
Yeah.
Also, this is Tim's LinkedIn, so you can. Is it LinkedIn? Is that what it's called? Linktree.
Linktree. Yep.
Yeah, so you can check out all his books and stuff. We can buy it because these are finished books, guys. They're not like, wait and see if it's going to be finished. These are actually finished books.
And I'm not trying to overhype myself or pretend like I'm something I'm not. I'm just saying I'm making these books to entertain you. Or if you're entertained, that's all I want. Also, I will be, if anybody's in Idaho, I will be at Captain Comics in Boise on May 2nd during Free Comic Book Day.
Right. So, I think this is a NZ price, right? What's your price over there in US? Is that what it is, or is it different?
Yeah, I think it's probably different. Let me go take a look.
Yeah. So New Zealand prices are quite, it's usually about twice the amount because of GST and all that and inflation, what have you. But
yeah,
do check out these books, man, and it's on Amazon, so you can
sometimes they give you a little. Some of them are on sale. This one's like $9.30. The first issue is like $9.39.
Is that what it's saying on your end?
Yep, $9.39. Yeah, for some reason RJ put it in the complaint with the Amazon, but it's saying that that issue 2 is out of print when it's not.
Right.
So if you want to get issue 2, you'll have to go to Critical Blast website.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Amazon's acting weird about that.
Yeah. Also, our Kickstarter is at pre-launch, so the links, I'll show you that in a minute. But here's the other thing, right? So we've been with our manga, the tortoise. We've had it on Webtoons for I think about 6 months, and so we've been getting followers and readers there, right? We've had about 2.2 thousand people going through our comic book and I mean through our manga and looking at it since we released it, which was I think it was like last August last year, right? No, July. So this is another way to promote yourself, and I'm really, get people to read your books, right? Because this is already out there. While we're working, while we're getting our, our work ready for Kickstarter to get crowdfunding backing on it, we're out here actually putting the book pages out, showing people, that these books were coming out, and that we were going to, build an audience by doing this. And in a way, it's another way of actually putting things out that are different because these are there for you to read on your mobile phone. And I think a lot of times people poo-poo web manga and webtoons, but they don't realize that people out here are buying comics and manga, right? For readers, it's not one or the other. They just want good story. And I think a lot of these so-called professionals don't understand that, and they want you to choose one or the other, and they like to shit on manga because they think their art is not as good as in manga. However, One Punch Man proves it's got nothing to do with the art. It's got to do with the story that grabs people. Why do you think people are still reading friggin' Dragon Ball Z all these years? And
Yeah.
Naruto of all things, One Piece, 1,000 friggin' volumes, right? Episodes or whatever it is. It's crazy, and now it's even got a live action. I think, we seriously, I think that like some of these professionals have really turned people away from them, Tim, from being being fans of their work because of their behavior.
Yeah, I guess I think so. It's because they find themselves so important. It's like I could walk up to anybody and say Batman, and they already know who I'm talking about. I can't go up and say Cyberfrog, and they would have no idea what I'm talking about.
Dude, I didn't even know that thing existed.
I barely remember it existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. And this is the thing about being a good ambassador of your work is to be a good representative of your work, right?
Well, you got to kind of remind people you exist.
Yeah.
People. It's hard to impress people these days. They're bombarded with ads all the time,
and new things all the time as well. That's the other thing that a lot of people don't understand. That there's, there's so much new stuff coming out all the time, and if you want to create an audience, you got to be everywhere or enough places to let people know what you're doing because of that. Now, I want to show you something else, Tim. I thought this was interesting. Check this guy's 5-year journey. All right. This is Tian Liang. I think it's Chinese or maybe actually this is from a page called Tianlan Handwork, right? So check this out. I saw this and I was like, wait, what is this dude doing? Right? And then I was like, imagine spending 5 years on a project And this is kind of like what I got to do with my friggin' Lego castle, right? That I put like short videos about, where I want to create this huge, not huge, but big enough, right? Castle to do with my comic book Zoolandia, where there is this Alvin kingdom, and it's got this huge castle, and with double walls and a bridge leading to it out of Lego, right? Let me I'm just gonna bring it up in here a sec. No, that's not the one. There it is. This dude is amazing, man. Like, the patience. My dad used to do models when when he first married my mom, when I was like about 7 years old. And sadly, I was a terrible kid who had never understood the value of shit, because when I was a kid, we never had toys and stuff, right? Because having food on the table and clothing was all that mattered back in Fiji, and having toys wasn't a thing, and you never learned the value of things. And so I ruined a lot of my dad's models growing up, because it just wasn't in me to understand. But my dad didn't even actually say, hey, this is what this is, let me show you how to build this, as well, because he kind of didn't have that sort of patience with me. And sadly, it was like the two of us butting heads early on, that sort of and this is why I always say, like, when you got kids, or you've got nephews or whatever, that young ones, sit them down and help them understand what it is what your interests are. Because at the end of the day, you might have someone who can appreciate it, and also get a love for it. And this dude, man, this is freaking amazing. Like, I can't say enough about this guy's, patience and detail, right? That's resin, by the way, so it's solid by the time it sets. But he took like the film work too for over 5 years, right? Filming this as he's working, having the camera set up. Every time he goes to do some bit of work, setting the camera up. Yeah, we're gonna work on this piece today. Few hours spent. Camera magic. Gosh, every little piece of that, man, making by hand, details, and then setting it all up again. I think this is like the what is this? Is this like the northern castle? What is it called? Like the Chinese I think that's the one. Is it? Oh, the palace. That's the one. It's like the Golden Palace. This is before the communists came in and ruined and destroyed everything of that area. So-called Cultural Revolution, right? Some of it still stands, but most of it's been destroyed. Communism only destroys, never builds. Ruins everything. Man, all that beauty, man. Look at that. 5 years of hard work, dude. all handmade, handcrafted, paper, resin. Give him a follow and a like, man, because this dude, right, really did an amazing job. So I'm going to show you my, what I want to do. And I've got all the pieces. I'm getting more pieces all the time. And to do a Lego, major Lego work. And as this is by my, this is part of the comic book we're going to release. We've already finished issue 1 and 2, but we're not releasing it until later. So this is the Alvin palace castle called Rastria, right? In a place for the from in the northern kingdom of Zealandia, right? So you've got this area here called the Sylphane village. Villages there. There's villages here. Then you've got the harbor here, right? And then you've got the orchards here, which supplies food to the castle. These are the kauri trees. These are the oldest, like the strongest wood in New Zealand. They're very highly priced. And so then you've got these double walls here, of course, Rastria. So and then you got these twin bridges that go across to it. So I gotta make a castle, and I've gotten like the Hogwarts castle to to add as this kind of like centerpieces, but I'll get a couple more of the Hogwarts to help with that. And of course, these are more gray, but like I think I can get away with like making this kind of like the Hogwarts. It was like an off-white beige kind of color, and they put grays around there. I've got lots of grays and blacks, but also I got to put all these, come up with all these little houses as well as these trees I got to build, to go along with that. So you can see here, at night when it's all lit up and stuff. Another here. So my artist on the series is called Joachim. I'm really bad at pronouncing foreign names sometimes. So it's Joachim Hagström. He's Swedish, and he's an amazing artist, man. And this is from an entire series of comics, right? I mean, sorry, he's actually coloring issue 2 right now. Let me see if I can grab you the entire comic book so you guys can see what it looks like. And issue 1 is completed, right? I just got to get a forward from a Swedish artist, because I asked Joachim, I said, hey man, I'd love to have someone from Sweden who's a comic book creator actually write a forward to this, because that, it'll be awesome. So while we wait for Tim to come back, because I think he's here to answer a phone call or something, I'm going to talk about our upcoming, where is it? The link. Yeah, so this is, before I move off this is the Zealandia issue number 1, which is Fantastical Romy comic book. All the artwork is finished, right? All the lettering is finished. Everything is finished. So all I need is a, kind of an information bit of information, and then a forward page, like a write-up from our Swedish comic book creator to put his little bit in. So you can see here the entire thing is finished. And also issue 2 is finished as well. And Robot Nation will be coming out soon as well. It's a 44-page completed 1 issue, like a complete book. It'll be coming out in Spanish. Was it Spanish, Portuguese, and English later on this year with a Kickstarter. So I also want to show you guys, before I move off this. Yeah, So here we are. So we're about to launch this on Kickstarter, which is Howler, and here it is, completely done, 100% completely done. All I got to do, all that's left is, where's the cover? Where's my cover? Oh, it's on this way. Hold on. Let me close these down so we can see. No, don't want to save that. Are you there yet? Yeah. So I gotta color this, right? I'm almost done with the color flatting. All I gotta do is a bit more of the color flat, and then let's get there. And then we're gonna have this Kickstarter done, right? Start it up. And that's what's the reason we're doing it, making sure that 100% of our Kickstarter is, campaign is finished, is because all the lazy people who are stealing from backers, who are saying this, the project's coming, who are taking years before they even deliver, if that, their campaigns. So last night I received this, which is the final piece of the campaign, right? And the only reason this is like, put us over into April is because I wanted a special cover, right? Kind of a spoiler cover. And so I asked my artist, James D. Hill, who's working on another comic for me, and on his, his own title called Templeton. I asked him to just step away from that for a minute and just do a cover for this. And so last night, as soon as I received it, I set it up like this, put the logos on, sent it to him, said, "What do you think?" Because yeah, it looks cool, with the with the title where it is. And then I said, "Okay, cool. Now I can start on doing the color flats." And this is, of course, once it's done, I will send it across to one of my colorists and say, "Hey, can you do the shadows and tones, highlights, whatever, because the sun's going, the moonlight's going to come through this way, right?" So I'll say this is the direction of the moonlight, so you can see the shadows behind the tree, and this is the front of the tree, right? So I got to figure out, like, so you can see here, right? There's a shadow, so this is the light side, and so the sun, I think the moonlight's just going to come on an angle like this. So that's why you can see this, but you can't, but you get the shadows here. So this is the final spoiler cover, right, for Howler #1, and that's coming out. As you can see here, the entire comic book is finished. And the other thing with this is that the first issue, the regular comic book is coming out with the wraparound cover. This is something like I decided to do a while back when we started doing Kickstarter, that every single A cover is going to be different, right? That we won't do, we won't make like buy #3, cover #3 or version C, and you'll get a wraparound cover, or if you buy, the variant cover D, you'll get a interlocking cover, right? I always thought like that kind of like always used to annoy the hell out of me. It's like, well, why don't you just do it for cover A and do whatever else you want for cover E, D, F, whatever you do, right? And the other thing I should say about covers for us, we're only putting out 4 covers for our campaigns, no more. There's one that I had for 6, but I decided to drop it down a bit because it was like had to do with the book itself, right? Because it's a supernatural horror demons and angels book. So I was like, let's go for 666, right? 6 cards, 6 covers, and 6 6 stickers and so on. But I'm still up in the air about whether I should do that, because that's like, it's a bit too many covers for 6, for one single comic book. So this is Howler, and I'll give you the link for the free launch in a second. And where you can sign up, right, to support us if you want to jump on board, or even share out. Like even if you decide not to support us, it doesn't take that much to just copy the link and then share the link on your social media, right? I would really appreciate that. So the entire comic book is done. Like every single information is done, right? All I got to do here is go in here on this page, and hopefully, I think I might have done it already. Yeah, I got to go in here and put in. Yeah, oh, it's already there. So I got to go and then. Yeah, so that's the D. So I've got a. I got to figure out whether which one we do, right? That's like one of the final things. Which covers gets what, and how many issues for that cover, and so on. You know, because I want to do limited covers so that if you're buying that cover, you know it's a limited cover, and it's not going to be like go onto eBay and get you 1,000 eBay version of that same cover, right? For $5, right? Because I've been watching how people in indie comics have been behaving over the last 5 years, or actually last 3 years, and what's, you know, how they scalp their own comic books off their own supporters. It's disgusting, man. You know, like, you know, Tim, you've heard stories about how people who are still yet to receive their comics, but their comics that they're supposed to receive is actually on eBay.
Yeah. I've heard people do that.
That is sad, bro. Like, I mean, that's disgusting, to be honest. Like ripping off your backers who actually helped you get your comic out, but you don't. Oh, here's the other thing. I got to get the forward done right on this. Oh, this is a different one. Apologies. I was supposed to click this. So yeah, here's the Tortoise, which is part of the 2-in-1 campaign that we're about to launch in in a week or so, which is already also finished, right? 100% done. All done. All right. I think I see something here. I hear you.
Yo.
I hear you, Tim. Are we there? Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of went silent for a while.
No, it's on your end.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let me just yeah. So let me get some links for you guys. But this is we've got a couple covers for this, and we like I said, 4 covers. This is our first Western manga, which means that it reads from the front, but it reads right to left, right? So you got to go that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's pop out of that. Let's get to some. I'll get you guys the link, and we will go back to our regular programmed. What is it called? Where are we? We are. That's right. We just finished.
You know who didn't show up in our chat tonight?
Yeah, I was wondering where he was.
Yeah, well, I thought he was. He's probably doing important POC things, you know.
So maybe he will show up later. Maybe he's lurking.
Maybe he's lurking and jerking. Hopefully not those.
Hopefully not that.
Yeah.
Like us.
Maybe he's making beef jerky. Some people do that. Some people make homemade beef jerky. I don't know.
Or working on his comic book.
Lurking and working. No one puts that combination together.
Now, hold on. Is it? I've got one here before we move on to our main topic, which is a 20 anime movies you must watch before you kick it. Let me just see if this is one. But here's the link for our pre-launch. And while this thing is sorting itself out, let's go have a look at the pre-launch. Where are you? Here it is. So it didn't take them that long. Usually they say it's going to take it a week or so for them to check out our, what is that called? Campaign and go over and stuff. But I want to emphasize, right? There are 2 comics in this campaign. You can buy either one, right? So the manga is 40 pages, black and white, Western manga, not Japanese manga, right? Because I'm not Japanese, and neither is Tomas. Tomas is Brazilian, right? If I remember right. And I'm Indian from Fiji, right? So there's no Japanese blood in us, so we're calling this, it's a Western manga. And then also the Howler #1 is a 36-page full color comic book, right? Fully finished. Everything is going to be fully finished. No waiting, no delays, no will it ship stress, right? And also on top of that, right, once the campaign ends, we go straight to printing and shipping from our US publisher, right? They will be handling everything, so it'll be getting sent out from the US. So if you're a US backer of our comic book, you're in luck. You won't have to pay that freaking expensive freight costs, right? And the other thing is that there are collector cards that expand the Plant universe. So every time we put out a campaign, there are numbered, collector cards, and so they all build up and they keep expanding as we put out each issue of our comic book. So every issue gets a set of cards. Also, there's a nude wraparound variant, which will black out on the tier, but it's one of those, and that's to do with the tortoise, and not to do with Howler, because Howler is actually more of a M15 because of the violence and so on, not because of language or sex scenes or anything like that. It's just because of the violence. So yeah, so it'll all come out from the US, right? It's not going to come out from New Zealand, because then you have to pay expensive costs. But we are based in New Zealand, right? And we've, of course, this is only our second one that we created, but we haven't this is our first one that we're actually releasing. I'll just go on and show this a bit more of this. And plus, next week or so, we're going to have our artists come up, and we're going to look at, both our artists, hopefully at the same time on stream, and we'll be talking with them about this process and stuff. So here's what Kickstarter, why we had to put in the mature R18. So Kickstarter came back to us and said, we noticed that your project, because one thing about these campaigns is I always want to be honest about what we're doing, right? What it contains, when it's going to come out, who's putting it out, where it's coming from, and is it finished or not? And it's 100%. Like I said, there's one more cover to go. Once we got it colored, we're ready to go, right? That means it's 100% finished by that time. So, but the comic itself is 100% finished. It's just one cover left to color. And hopefully I'll have a cover colored within today or something for the flatting, and then I'll pass it on to my artist. I'm trying to figure out which out of the 3 that I should send it to, depending, because your finisher, the person who finishes the final color tones, gives it their own personal style. So I got to figure out whose style should I use, right? Because the flats just don't matter. It's just, they're just flats, but it's the actual tones and shades that make a difference. So Tim, they sent me back and say, thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing your project with us. We noticed that your project includes adult NSFW elements, such as an artistic nudity description and your limited edition nude wraparound cover C. Your project is approved to launch on Kickstarter, but it's important to know that all projects must also comply with our payment processor Stripe's rules, right? So you got to go through there. Stripe will run its own review, right? So I got to go, okay, well, we're not trying to be, confuse people about what we're doing with this, So like I said, this one has nudity in it. It's always had nudity in it, and it's a love story, right? As well as this supernatural horror, gets pretty violent. Stuff about these two, 20-somethings going on a overseas adventure. There's a link there in the chat and on screen for to sign up for the pre-launch. So Howler, however, is more like an MR, like a 13 plus, and so you have a choice between a manga or a comic book, in color, right? A Western manga or a comic book. So let me go forward again, and I'll get you. Let's have a look at some of the basics, right? Is it the story? I think you got to go do. Yeah, story. Just show you some of the work on this. So this is the interiors. Man, why is this here? Let's go with that. Let's see for the previews. There we go. So we'll get rid of that. So here you go. So we're going to put out the digitals and so on. These are New Zealand dollars, by the way. I think it's about $4 or something for the digitals. Haven't actually, I got to go around and get the pricing and finish all this off later. But you can see this is the manga, right? This is this cover B? Nope, this is cover C by James D. Hill. This is part of a wraparound cover that we're going to release in issue 2 that we've got colored and everything. And this is cover A, which is a regular by the interior artist Louise. And that story is about about a mom and son running away from a past, basically. Mom's running away from a past and taking her son in tow. So here we go. So mom's deadly secret, a son caught in the crossfire, globe-trotting adventure, right? Which it is. We're going to go all over the place. In the first issue, we go from Australia to New Zealand. So after barely surviving a savage home invasion in Australia, 21-year-old Isaias and his fiercely protective mother, Alicia, flee to a quiet Auckland, New Zealand, coastal town. She opens a small, authentic Italian pizza restaurant, hoping to vanish for good. Right. So there's a opening page, wraparound first page. As a 2-page spread. This is a I really don't know why this is not showing it the way, like, it's all this stuff is here. It's annoying me, so you can't see it properly. So this is the cover. This cover art is cover B by Kim, Valraven versus Alicia. And then tell you a bit more about the story and the characters. Then you got a list of what's going to be put out. All right, so this is for the tortoise. You're going to have like one regular cover, no limits. Then you got about one limited cover for cover B, then cover C, wraparound, and then variant cover D, Virgin Boat Trip. Then you got 4 stickers, and very simple, right? No thousands of friggin' covers, no thousands of items, because the more you have, the more confusing it gets, and also it never comes out, right? As some people are finding out when they've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars with particular creators out there. Also, those creators who run off with their money, right? Back as money. So all our work is finished. There's no like, oh, you're not going to deliver this. Well, if you back it 100%, it'll be delivered 100%. All we need is your backing, right? So these are the stickers that we put out. I had Tomas, who's the artist on this, to do some cute little stickers. And these are the cards, right? The cards actually include info that's not in the comic book. That's kind of like a bit of an add-on to the story, so you find out a bit more about these characters. And then you've also, this is just some stuff that I put out, right? The same thing here with like the Howler. You've got like 3 limited edition covers, and I'll be putting it up later. These are just placeholders until I get all the pricings and everything sorted. Now, is that, oh, it still hasn't come up. What is up with YouTube? Come on,
I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to get this link up for YouTube because I had this little video I wanted to look at. Is it this one? Oh yeah. So this is kind of in line with you know, with comics and manga, and I thought it was interesting thing because this is BBC World, which is better than BBC England because they're like propaganda channel. But this was a bit more interesting. This is about like, can AI replace manga artists in Japan? This is the Asia specific podcast, right? So we'll watch this and then we'll move on to our 20 what is it? Must watch. Anime movies before we die. All right, let's see if my volume's all right. Can you hear this, Thomas?
AI tools.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Excellent. All right, here we go. Let's put this. I'll put the subtitles up just in case.
Recently, there's been a lot of buzz around AI tools which can turn you into an anime character within seconds. Many users love it, but the technology is unnerving many of Japan's manga creators. The animation style is one of the country's most distinctive cultural exports, but some say the jobs of those who created are now under threat. Many of Japan's major publishing companies accuse tech companies of copyright infringement. Illustrators worry about losing income or even their jobs. But can AI also help manga thrive? I'm Mariko in Singapore, and this is Asia Pacific from the BBC World Service. Twice a week, we bring you Asia Pacific stories, unpacked by those who know them best. Well, today I have manga artist Pepe, who's originally from Italy, but he moved to Japan 10 years ago. I also have Darren Bowie from Unmute in the studio. He's an AI consultant. Welcome both.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
So Pepe, let's start with you. Tell me why you decided to become a manga artist and why you decided to move to Japan.
I always loved Japan and the manga culture and the anime culture since I was a kid in Italy. And as soon as I discovered the manga, I started drawing every day.
This dude is basically like my artist Louise, right? Tomas. Tomas is basically Tomas recently, like the last 2 years, has spent time in Italy, France, and then also, you know, around Europe, working part-time. You know, actually, I think it was sometimes I was working full-time, and then working on my comic at night, right after work. Once he finished off work, he would come home and work on the manga, and you know, send me pages, send me thumbnails, send me, character designs and stuff. And then, stopping in over in Japan as a final thing before he came back to Brazil, and just experiencing is like, because he learned when he went to school in Brazil, he was taught how to do manga there by his teachers, right? How to draw in the Japanese style and so on. And that's why we call the tortoise Western manga. And here's the thing, like, this is why I keep saying that you can't choose one or the other, in the sense that you put down one, put down manga and go, oh, comics are all better, because they're both comics, right?
Does it manga just simply mean, is just not just a Japanese word for comic book?
Exactly. And so if you're saying manga shit, what you're saying is comics are shit. Right?
Or if you're trying to say, the West is supreme, it's like, well, all comic books are good. So
yeah,
I mean,
every culture's got their own style.
Comes down to taste.
Yeah, I mean, like Korea, right? Korea's got manhwa, right? MANWHA. That's comics in Korean, right? And manhwa Manhua, which is Chinese for I don't know if it's Cantonese or Mandarin, because they've got the two languages there, and which is comics and their thing. So you've got people all over the world who are inspired to create comics and manga because of the art style, because they enjoy reading that book, right? And then this Italian dude, loved it so much he learned to do that. And I think people, I don't know, I always don't understand people saying choose one or the other, right? It makes me so frustrated over their ignorance about art itself, right? I don't know why they do it, Tim.
I don't know either. I mean, the only thing I'd say is, are we getting all the cutesy crap when we used to get all the like kind of the edgy, gritty ones?
Yeah, that's
I like
that's only because you haven't seen Hell's Paradise yet. Haven't read Hell's Paradise
yeah,
yet.
Well, and just like one guy said about like modern music, of course you're only looking at the shitty surface. You're not digging.
Exactly.
But it used to be the majority that we're getting.
Yeah.
In my own, and little by little,
Move to Japan.
I always loved Japan and the manga culture and the anime culture since I was a kid in Italy. And as soon as I discovered the manga, I started drawing every day, making my own, and little by little, getting better. And it was right around the time when you would have to choose which university you wanna go to in Italy. And I said, all in, I'm just gonna go and study Japanese. And I went to study Japanese, and then I moved to Japan.
Dude, this is why I say when you're a young kid, if you got a young kid around you, support them 100% in what they're into, right? Like, as legal, right? If they love music, freaking help them learn, get them some tutors, get them some classes, get them an instrument. If they love painting, get them some brushes, get them some paint, get them some drawing pads. You gotta put kids on the right path and that they're interested in. You don't know what their future would be. And look at this dude, man, as a young kid, right? Right in there, and all the way to learning to speak, learning the culture, and then moving there in the end, right? All because he had a passion, because he loved the art early on.
That's pretty much what happened.
Well, you made it. You're now an established manga artist in Japan. I want to ask you about what was your reaction to AI, because there's been quite a lot of buzz around it, especially when those AI tools can just turn people into kind of an anime character within seconds. What was your initial reaction when you saw that?
I think unanimously everybody that creates art for a living, is not very happy to realize that your job can become the job of a machine in one day. But I can also rationally think about it more deeply and realize that it can become a useful tool in a way. I think it's all gonna be about the way you're gonna use it.
Yeah, I actually spoke to somebody from the Manga Research Institute. His name is Takeshi Kikuchi, and it's interesting because he basically said that the majority of manga artists seem to be quite negative on the AI. So let's hear what he had to say.
I can't think of any manga artists in Japan who openly support AI. Among the country's top creators, there's no consensus view and opinions are split. Some say their existence is threatened, while others are waiting to see if AI can be a useful tool. But on generative AI that learns published content like manga, the vast majority of them have very negative views on it, especially because they fear that their manga might be used to train AI without their permission. That's theft. When OpenAI Sora 2 was launched...
So there is a comic book creator, writer out there who's creating music AI music based off of a popular Korean band and putting it out there as AI created music of this band that doesn't that band didn't even do. I find that disgusting, to be honest, right? And you can say, well, Monkey King, you create AI music as well, but I don't base it on other people's work. I go out there, write my own lyrics, and I go and put the descriptions in, not using other people's names, other people's, like, hey, create this song that I've just written in the fashion of Dave Mustaine singing with Metallica as the band. I find that disgusting because I think it's like if you aren't creative enough to say, hey, here's my words, here's my lyrics. Now, please, these are the styles of music that I want, and now show me what you can do. What I can, give me versions of this that I can think, work around, and maybe I'll, but it's so that the final product isn't like anybody else's. But there's a guy out there, putting out these songs in the indie comics scene who's actually, basing it off real people, real bands. And someday people will look back in the future, go, oh, that's a song by such and such, not realizing it's AI and it's all fake. And this is what's going to ruin like the future for everybody, because not everybody in the future will know what band released what music, right? Legitimately, because of AI. And I think that's quite sad. And I think this is
Well, I'd like to be able to say that they are developing technology to help determine what's AI and what's not.
Yeah, but it's getting to a point where you can't, man. Like
programs that literally can detect AI.
Right. Up to a certain point. But if you're just going through, just put in a word like Eazy-E, right? And all these songs pop up, and you just listen to it and you go, oh yeah, it's Eazy-E. You're not looking at the description saying, oh, is it actually legitimate Eazy-E songs or NWA songs or DMX, right? Or Tupac, or is it AI generated Tupac songs, right? Or is it AI created Megadeth songs or Metallica songs? And that's the sad part, because there's going to be a point where you won't be able to tell. So a couple of weeks ago, I think it was Vicky Verse, one of the commentators here on the indie comic scene, played a video on her channel about robots. All right. She was all hoo-ha, and I'm like, I know that wasn't real. And but I couldn't find that thing while I was watching her stream to comment on it. So it was all remote controlled robots, because they're not autonomous anymore at the moment, right? It's going to take at least another 10 years to 20 years to get them to that stage, because their brains don't have we are not up to there with the microchips for their brains for robots to be able to behave in a normal human way on their own. But she was playing this video because it was like a roadshow for robots, right? Companies. It was a huge, like a promotion thing. And she didn't even realize, because she never looked into like what was, the behind the shit, the scenes, right? And she put it out there as like, oh, look at how great China is doing with the robots. And I'm like, you don't even realize that's just bullshit propaganda shit, right? Those are hand controlled, remote controlled, button pushed robots in a freaking what is it called? Where you like a set of sequences, you just press a button, then they just perform a set of sequences. That's all that was. But she was like, oh man, they're so advanced. They're so advanced. Look at them. They got robots. And I'm like, bitch, please know what you're talking about before you start promoting this shit like it's real. But yeah, so even like the brains of the chips that are in those robots, dude. They're not even made in China. They're made in Taiwan, which the enemy, which China sees as an enemy, right? But they're happy to use, you know, Taiwanese microchips in their robots to say that they're the, you know, they're remote control robots, by the way, right? So yeah, and this is what I think, like with this, is that, you know, these guys are not using it as tools. They're using it as like to show that they are the artists, right? It's quite sad, man.
Especially because they fear that their manga might be used to train AI without their permission. That's theft. When OpenAI Sora 2 was launched, for a couple of days, a lot of content that it produced resembled Japanese content or images like Nintendo's Mario, Pokemon, or manga such as Dragon Ball and Demon Slayer. That's when Japan's major publishers called for OpenAI to stop using their creative works, or else they'd take action against copyright infringement. As for whether AI will result in job losses, illustrators are more concerned because their roles could be replaced.
So, Darren, he was just talking about possible job losses that illustrators, manga artists are worried about. I guess the other big concern for the industry is copyright infringement. And Japanese publishing companies, they've pretty much made it clear that they're not happy with generative AI. Can you just tell us where all these tech companies stand when it comes to AI and copyright infringement?
Yeah, I mean, what's happening in Japan, it's not only a highly localized issue, right? Like there is almost a global push from all sides of the creative industry against how AI is being used. So at least certainly in Japan, anyway, there already is a move that's underfoot or underway, I should say, led by CODA, which is the Content Offshore Distribution Association, right? Now they're leading a whole bunch of manga producers to essentially looking for more transparency in how they're using manga to train the models, right? So I don't think, as I understand it, there's nothing punitive that's being suggested at this point. It's more a kind of like a show cause, right? Like, let's have a conversation about what's going on. We want to understand how you guys are using it.
What's been the reaction from OpenAI and other tech companies? Are they addressing this issue at the moment?
There are a number of proactive steps, I guess, the frontier models. So we're talking OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, and so on, are taking in this regard. Some of them, like OpenAI and Anthropic, are pursuing licensing deals. So they are actually trying to go out and like saying, okay, fine, we will pay you so that we can use your primary information, your proprietary information to train our databases. So that's one thing. The other thing they're saying is, well, there's no public commitment to, we won't use your database. It's very much you have to kind of police how you let us use your information. And that's a very important distinction.
Pepe, you were telling us your opinions. Is that a commonly held view? You speak to a lot of other manga artists in Japan. Are they as relaxed as you are about the impact of AI, or are there others who are a lot more concerned?
I spoke to one particular person that's leading like the group of manga artists they're gonna put more and more AI manga in the future. And at the moment is using it just for backgrounds, but he told me that soon he's gonna start using it just for everything, and he's just gonna write the story. So I was a little bit shocked when he told me this, but just speaking to him, I could see.
So, as I mentioned earlier about this one indie creator who's using, putting out videos of music by certain bands, made through AI. But if that same creator is very precious about his work being made by somebody else, his characters being made by somebody else as AI, he has a huge problem with that. But he has no problem with doing that to other bands and stuff, right? Music and singers and so on, and groups. Jim, do you think that's hypocritical?
That is very hypocritical. I mean, you can't just go, oh well, if you're doing it for fun, cool, but don't say that you made something original. Just say, yeah, I was screwing around with AI. You know.
Yeah, but he's doing it to build up his his YouTube channel, right? So
Right.
because he's
Well,
even said it, like the only reason people are coming to my stream is because they're watching my YouTube my AI videos of these bands that I've done fake music of, right?
well, that's still wrong, I guess.
It's like using other people's content to promote your stuff. And I mean, we're here talking about these guys, but what we're doing in a commentary sense of like looking at this. But I just went over to Grok and I asked Grok, right? So about this whole, how much is the tech companies making off this? Let's see what maybe my questioning wasn't right, but let's see how they do it, right? So what is sponsors? So I said to Grok, I said, yo, Angel, how much money, like I said, done right, has generative AI tech companies made off, man, hold on, let me try this again. I was in a rush then, I didn't type it right. So how much money has generative AI tech companies made so far up to January 2026 was what I was going to ask. Messed it up there. 26 using manga and comic book published works. Should be the proper one there. Here we go. Let's try this again. So they've got here, well, it's going to take a bit. Let's find out. Did I just see 1 billion? Dude. Tim, look at this, dude. So there is no publicly available numbers figure for how much money generative AI companies have specifically earned from using published manga or
I saw
comic book
2.5
works.
million.
No. Billion.
Oh, yeah, billion.
Do you think these companies give a crap about comic book and manga creators when they're making billions off them? How's this? 25 to 40 billion AI generative market, right? Smaller niche focused on manga style output. Overall generative AI market, tens of billions. OpenAI alone, 25 billion annualized revenue by early 2026. Dude, these people are basically stealing from manga creators in the billions. In the billions, dude.
I guess we learned never go. I guess we can never go mainstream.
Holy. So important context. Major manga publishers, Shueisha, Condenser, etc., and creator groups in Japan have raised strong concerns about AI training on their works without permission or compensation. Yeah. How about giving like 50% of that back? Right? Billions. Right? 25 to 40 billion. Give 50% back to the creators. This is crazy, dude. Like, and this is just manga, right? We're not even looking at comic books yet. So let me do a copy of that.
Why isn't anybody suing them then? If it's an issue,
because they're not seeing this, right? They can understand this, but they're not looking at the figures, right? Like we're right now. Maybe they are. Maybe they're figuring out how the hell to get these guys, because at the end of the day, these people are really, dude. These people are like gouging, right? The manga industry, and especially the creators, right? let's see what it says about comic book, right? Using comic book published works both, so globally, right? Including Europe and America and Western comic arts. Is that one word? No. That's the spelling there. And of course you need a capital there. Doesn't really matter to AI because it'll like Grok will work it out. But I like to get the spellings right. All right. And for comic books, 25 to 33 billion. Growing at 32%. I would say that would be annually. Fastest growing segment, tools like Midjourney, DALL-E, etc. used for comics. So this is what's going to be destroying the industry, right? Helped along by, people who steal from backers on crowdfunding. That's also destroying the crowdfunding and indie comics industry. I mean, creator base. So the major settlement, here's the settlements, right? So nothing specific to comic books, but it goes, there have been multiple copyright lawsuits against AI companies involving comic-related works. Warner Brothers, DC characters versus Midjourney, artists versus Stability AI, Stability AI and Midjourney. The only major settlement mentioned in recent reports is Anthropic's $1.5 billion book author settlement 2025. But no equivalent large settlement for comic publishers or Western comic artists have been publicly announced. Marvel, DC, and major publishers have been vocal about not using AI in their own published work and are actively litigating unauthorized use of their IP. Bottom line, while generative AI companies have earned tens of billions overall from their products, no credible data isolates any specific revenue tied to training on published comic books, American, Western, or otherwise. The figure is relatively unknown and unreported. But these tech companies know what they're doing and they have their figures. I'm telling you, man, every company knows what they're earning and what their loss is, right? And they know they're gouging and basically destroying the very companies, very art forms that they're making billions of, right? 33 in comic books, Western comic books, 40 billion, up to 40 billion, right? 25 to 40 billion in manga. It shows you that manga is a powerful force out there, and so they're going after manga more as a creative art form. And this is like, I mean, like right from the start, I was like, I'm never going to use AI in my artwork, right? Not to write, not to, and I don't, and, the only thing I could think of using AI is for like early versions of like trying to mock up character designs or something like that. And usually I usually do it like myself. I like, what is that called? A photo bomb? No, it's some sort of like this collage. Is it collage? Is it called collaging when let me show you what I mean. I showed this earlier, but where you just, put put photos together to kind of like show your artist what you're looking at. I've done this previously in other things. Like here, I showed this earlier where are we? Where it was just like taking his work and then like doing a little thumbnail kind of like sketch, pencils around it. Nothing major, right? It's just like, I want this guy standing here. I want this here, right? you could basically have it now go put it into AI and go, hey, give me more details on based around this shit. But why would I when I got my artist who can give me this? Right? And then I go in, do the color flats on it. And that's what you did, right? We looked at your work just earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, hey, can you redraw this for the I said, could you redraw this?
And that's what it comes down to. It's like, hey, look, we've got artists out here who are going to put their special touches to our artwork, right, to make it come to life. But these guys are here ready to steal billions from people like us, right? The moment we put anything out online, there's AI stealing from it. And you kind of feel like, well, should I actually put work out there online?
Well, how else do you get to get people to know that you exist?
And that's the other thing. So it's a catch-22, right? We use social media to promote our work and to reach an audience, to promote our artists, to promote our hardworking artists, I should say, right? Especially in my case, where they're like basically when they go to work or school, university, whatever, then they come home, have dinner, and they sit down in front of their tablet or grab a piece of paper and start working, right? And spending all that time there, but you've got these people basically just out here, tech billionaires making billions, tens of billions from people like this dude, right? And us by scraping every image we've ever released online to make billions off the back of our hard work, our creations, our artist creations, and it sucks. And they're never going to stop, because who the fuck's going to stop making billions when it's this easy? Oh, okay, we had to pay out 1.5 billion. So we just made 20 billion off it. It's like chump change to them. They will never stop, man.
Told me this, but just speaking to him, I could see that makes sense for the.
So this is what he says here is very much like what I see around in the indie comic scene, right? When it comes to AI. Okay.
Concerns.
I spoke to one particular person that's leading like the group of manga artists that is gonna.
I should say, it's a very small minority, but they're doing enough damage, right, in the overall thing when it comes to AI and using AI this way. So what's weird here is he's talking about a guy who leads a group of manga artists, right? Which is kind of sad. That means there's like a whole bunch of people that this guy's working with, not him, but this guy that he's talking about was working with, who are using AI this way.
We're gonna put more and more AI manga in the future, and at the moment is using it just for backgrounds. But he told me that soon he's gonna start using it just for everything, and he's just gonna write the story. So I was a little bit shocked when he told me this, but just speaking to him, I could see that makes sense for the assistant, the job that you usually just let your assistant do. And I feel like if you get the opportunity to use a tool that will save you 3 days of work, anybody will be okay to do that.
I definitely got a sense by speaking to some in the manga industry that opinions are definitely split. And Mr. Kikuchi from the Manga Research Institute, he actually said that for adult manga, so like pornographic manga, AI generated contents are everywhere because people aren't that fussed about whether it's created by humans. So yeah, I think
this also comes down to visual novel games, because I play visual novel games, right? It's one of my like past what do you call, like guilty pleasures, or past like people like to game. I don't play first person shooter type games, or that sort of like world building games. I like to play visual novel games, which is basically you have some text and you choose a path, kind of like based on like choose a path books. Did you ever grow up reading that, dude? Pick a path books. Let me just find out what
No,
that is.
I've never played those. I've always played like shooting games and such.
Right. So back in like 80s, late 80s, early 80s, in New Zealand, we used to like library books would have like these pick a path books, right? What is going on with Google today? Oh, here we go. So we'd have these little books that would come out, and you could like pick a path, and reach your own, have your own adventure type thing, right? And so rather than reading it from A to Z like a normal novel or novella, as if you get 100-page books, whatever, you'd have these books where you could actually pick a path through that, choose your own little things, okay, so do you take the left road or the right road, right? Or do you continue down the way, that the writer's asking you to choose? So there's back in the old days, we had so many of these, and then you'd also have these like red colored plastic things where you could actually you could see like hidden messages on the actual pages. So there's quite a lot of these that used to come out back then, right? And you could choose so many, amazing stories as a kid, So nowadays, visual novels are basically like that, right? And you could pick a path through the story that the writer has put out there for you. And what I've noticed in the last 3 years, a lot of artwork on there is coming out as like AI, CGI, right? 3D AI CGI. And it's just gross because now it's going to like take over the entire gaming, platform, like not platform, but the genre, the visual novel genre, where you can just basically have all this AI shit come in and be used as the art in those games, which is kind of sad. So, there is I think it's, what is it called now? I'm trying to find no, it's not Tappers. There is a gosh, I can't remember the name of the platform that puts out visual novel games. Visual novel. Let me see if I can find it. It's something that came out of Japan, if I remember right? So, visual novel games dot. I wonder if it can get from .io. I just can't remember the name. itch.io, right? Here you go. So let me just show you what these games are. And there's so many genres, right? In that. Some of them have like actual games in them. So this is the one I was talking about. Like, so this is itch.io. Right? So you got different styles and art styles and stuff. And then you've got these here, there's adult games and stuff, which kind of like in the way is like it's kind of a high seller because these are not AAA games, right? So let me not be on here too long, otherwise we'll get the strike for content. Oh yeah, also guys, don't hold up guns on your streams, right? You get a strike for that. So yeah, so there's all these different things, like different genres, dating sims, horror, anime, right? Psychological horror, interactive fiction, which is basically what this is, right? It's an interactive game. These ones here. So did I put the link out there? I did. Okay, let's get out of here. So back to, so you're gonna have, and I've been watching, with Kickstarter campaigns and stuff, man, there's a lot of AI crap coming out on there. Have you noticed that, Tim? Let me see, where are we?
Wait, hold on. What'd you say again?
You know, AI comic books on Kickstarter.
I
Have you
have
noticed
not.
that?
No, I have not.
Okay, let me see if I can because a lot of them don't say it is, right? They just like put it out there. They don't even say it's you know, that's what it is. And so gosh, how do I get out of here so I can search it? Okay, let's go to see if I can get it to do that. Because I'm logged in, so it always keeps taking me, giving up all this other information here. Come on. So let's see. Let's search comic books. Right? Comic books AI. Right now, there is people actually saying that's AI. Not everybody, and like when you got like one person saying it's AI, there's a million, like 1,000 saying it's not AI, right? So you've got this here, right? So a book about AI, AI, and these are about AI content, not actually created by AI, right? Oh, look, Tony, an AI comic book, AI comic, and it's funded, right? It's funded, AI comic, and it's funded, right? So let's see how much this get, right? 57 backers, but they pledged 6,000 for an AI comic, right? Look, you get digital supporter, you get pledged $15 to secure digital copy, $15, dude. $15
that
for
wasn't
AI.
drawn by that was drawn by a computer.
Yeah, yeah. This is all AI. Look at
That
how
looks
different.
terrible.
Yeah, you can tell straight away.
That looks so bland. What the hell? Who would want to buy that?
3 different art styles by 3 different AI.
Yeah, but it's so boring looking. Look at it.
Look.
Yeah, that's not even that. Look how bland it is, though.
But look at this. It's like it's nothing consistent, right?
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
here. He's got hair. Here he don't have hair. Here he's young.
Yep.
But hey, but it's, 57 people gave this guy $6,000, New Zealand, that is, right? But yeah, fully backed, right? AI. So that's 6K. That's like basically people have spent on an AI book. Fist fights generative AI, right? There's so much more here, man. Like, I remember seeing one that like made 24K US. I don't know, man. It kind of like when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I spending all this time creating and writing books? Right?
I'd rather spend the energy hiring people to make actual books. You know,
And
that's
this
the
is
problem is that there's all these you either have people pretending to be someone else, or you know, you have stuff that's not even, you know, real, or such a fake world that, you know, there's not enough people being real about stuff and creating, you know, real things. You know, it's all performative bullshit.
And that's why these companies need to go after generative AI, because they're taking money off the tables of actual artists and creators, right? Like people who basically actually given their life to their art, right? Yet you've got this dude here sitting, you know, he's one of the proponents, right? He's one of the promoters of AI, sitting here going, yeah, I'll say whatever I need to say here, lady, because hey, guess what? I still made $100 million while sitting here, right? I still made a couple million just sitting here talking to you about this. Thank you for helping me promote my, my AI shit. These guys are like just AI tech companies when it comes to art are just playing games, right? While they make billions off the backs of creators. Yeah. It just sucks, man.
People aren't that fussed about whether it's created by
Yeah.
humans. So yeah, I think it's already there. But I wonder about the positive impact of AI because
All right, let's get out of there. I think that's enough of that. Let's go to, because we're at hell. Wow, we're past our time zone for when I'm supposed to be talking about our main topic. So let's get to our main topic for the day. Of course, is the remainder. Hopefully, we get to the remainder of our 20 must-watch retro anime movies.
There
before
is
we die.
something about old.
Now, I remember we were up to, where are we? I think we got past Golgo 13. And like I said last time, it's a must watch. You must watch Golgo 13. We're at Venus Wars, I think. Yeah. So we're going to look at Venus Wars going forward. There's the topic. And we'll be looking at Venus Wars. And I think, where are we? Number 15. So hopefully we get through all 5. You got time for all 5 today, Tim?
Yes.
All right. That's cool. Thank you. Now, while this plays, I will go and find as much information as we can for the Venus Wars, because this is an awesome movie.
Venus Wars is a 1989 sci-fi film set on Venus during a war between two nations. Where it shines is in its mechanical design and battle sequences. The tanks and vehicles are absurdly over-designed in the best way, and the urban warfare scenes carry real scale. Where it falls short is characters. Most of the cast is underdeveloped, and the dialogue can feel stiff. But as a military sci-fi spectacle with committed world building and impressive action, it is a worthwhile watch. Just go in for the hardware and the atmosphere, not the character work. Arian is a 1986 film loosely based.
We'll get to Arian in a minute. But what I really love about this dude is the design. The machinery design is just like, man, it's so good. We just like I love these style of art style. I'm sorry. I love the art style of this because it reminds me of 2000 AD, my early 80s childhood of reading, pre-teen and early teens of reading 2000 AD comics. So they had this beautiful, amazing rounded figures, and I can't remember who was doing the artwork, but with 2000 AD, they had I think it was ABC Warriors was quite similar, and I don't know who the artist was, but the artwork was pretty similar in the rounded ways, like not right rigid, what is it called, like sharp lines that have these really interesting. I'm trying to open up this friggin' thing if it can get to me. Here we go. I think it might be this one, or it might actually be another one called Robusters, I think it was. But let's have a look. So, and then I'll play the trailer in a minute. So this is ABC Warriors from 2000 AD, right? So you look at these ones here. They're not as rounded, right? like you look at this art here, right? So kind of rounded, like you don't see metal rounded like this. You always expect it to be like in Mecca, right? You always see it like sharp edges, but
Right.
with these artwork, it's Clint Langley. Have you ever seen this work?
Nope, I have not.
Dude, I need to introduce you to 2000 AD. If
Oh,
you, yeah,
2000
if you,
AD. You mean like the comic book that Judge Dredd came out of?
yeah. That's the weekly
Yeah.
thing, right? But this
Yeah.
is all these would appear in it, like 8-page ongoing stories, and so you find all these stories, these characters in there, or these titles, right? And so to have all these beautiful designs, man,
Looks like
of these,
an RPG core book.
yeah. These are I think these are the newer ones, right? This is so this is Clint Langley. So this is only about 16 years ago, so it's quite a newer lot of work. But the older ones, let me see, where are the older ones? That kind of looks more older. The Mac files. Where are these from? Yeah, I think these are the older ones. So this, let's see if what this is more like it. Yeah, see here you got more rounded work, right? These designs of, actually, I think, let's see if I can get anything but more clearer. Nope. Go off there. Yeah, so you got the straight lines of the ships and stuff, but man, I still love this as a kid, watching all these. Oh, it's the same one. So here's a Mac Wars #1. So the great thing is that now they're releasing these as like mini books, right? Volumes, collecting them. So this is this is black and white. This is what I grew up on, right? Let me see if I can put this in a new, larger image. Here we go. Got it. And Venus Wars, right? Like totally reminds me of this stuff. Because look at this work. Look at these shit, like these cars, flying cars and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Robot. What's that? Sorry?
I said that is pretty cool.
This is in the 80s, dude. Right? 70s and 80s. Stephen Potter, Pat Mills, of course, amazing writer, still working, if I remember. 50 years now, he's still working, dude. Next year, 2080 will be 50 years old, half a century in production. But yeah, so let's go to the trailer for Venus Wars, which is a proper, much longer. It's a minute long. So original name is Vinasu Senkei. Senkei being, of course, war. Hopefully. So this came out in 89, right? Look at the artwork just on this cover.
Can you make it bigger?
Yep. Can you see it on your end, or should I?
Yeah, hold on. Let me bigginate it.
Yeah. So look at his motorbike, right? His like.
They were pretty big. They were pretty big on those type of bikes, like Acura had or something like that.
Yeah, I love these, man. I want to get the Acura bike. I saw that somebody had made a brick version of it, and I'm like, I gotta get that Acura brick motorbike. See if we can find it. I think yeah, people have made their own versions of it. Like, check this out, dude. I mean, that one there, like this one here, right? This is actually an air bike, so you could ride around in the air, right? But this one here is a Akira bike, which you can buy. I think this might be just the instructions, maybe. I'm not sure. Is it the what are we? Are we getting the whole thing? Bag only. Oh yeah. So actually, yep. Panlo's brick, interlocking bricks. What are we looking at? Compatible Lego. So here you go. Look at that. Is that cool or what, dude?
That is cool. Is that from Akira?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the stickers are there, but it's a Kinder special, right? So it's like where are we? It's actually so building brick, I guess you could call it blocks.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how big it is because these pieces are kind of small, but look at that. They do look cool though. I mean, like that is such a cool bike, man. And as a brick, oh, there we go, 18 centimeters. So it's about almost 20 centimeters wide, 5 across by 8 up. So it's not too big. I mean, it's not too small. Yeah. Gosh. So I guess for $40 New Zealand, which is around about maybe $20 US, right? It's not bad. So yeah, if you guys want to check that out, this is the Aussie one, but it'll probably take the link, but it'll take you to the American one if you want to check it out. But like Canada motorbike red building blocks. Is that cool or what? I mean, this looks awesome. Anyway, let's get out of there. Back to Venus Wars. Oh, and the other thing, like, right? People keep saying, oh, manga, there's only this, it's art's all the same. Well, does that look like One Piece? Right? Hey, where you went? Here we go. Does that look like One Piece? Right?
No.
All right, let's watch the trailer. Here we go. I recommend it. It's just a good watch, right? It's a good. Look at that tank, man.
Yeah, that's a crazy tank right there.
So here's the Roadbusters art from 2000 AD. Let me see if it'll give me a larger version. Mike McCann. Where is it? Dang it. That it disappeared. Weird. So Mike McCann, is that McCann or McMahon? It's McMahon, right? You're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. So I'm trying to find this the big version of Roadbusters, which is one of the early, very early, right? Artwork. I mean, not artwork. 2000 AD comics. So this is from, gosh, this is so early, dude. 79.
Looks
Look
like
at
they
this.
have their own version of Star Lord.
Yeah, because there was first a Star Lord comic book, and then they 2080 bought them out, and I think they just added as to and Star Lord. So this is I don't know what number this is, but this is 2 years after 2080 started up. Right, it's about 10 cents, probably about New Zealand. It would be like maybe about 30 cents New Zealand at that time for a 40-page or 30-page comic book, weekly comic book. So this is robustness. This is what I was talking about, right? Look at the artwork in this, the detail, dude.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a cartoon in America that lasted for a while.
What was that called?
Hold on, let me
Are
look
you
it
talking about
up.
like the Japanese version of is it the Galaxy? Oh, look at this tank, dude. A mech tank. Smash him, Charlie. Come on, Charlie, you can do it. That kind of looks like Trump. It's 50 odd years old, dude.
I'll have to find it. I don't know.
Yeah. Look at the detail to the artwork here.
I think I had it one time. I had Judge Dredd and the Judge Dredd Batman crossover.
They even have a Superman ad in there. Look at that. Superman comic ad for Wheatbix in there. You actually got cards back then, dude. Action picture cards. 18 of them. Collect all 18.
Oh, out of like toy things or food products?
Yeah. This is a Wheatbix. Do you know what?
I don't know.
Yeah. Did you ever have Wheatbix in US?
Nope.
As a
we
kid?
had Wheat Thins.
Yeah, it tastes like cardboard.
Oh, it sucks. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. Didn't like
I'm
it.
sure, I'm sure you could make a deal with a small mom and pop company that make like their own food and have like your cards of your characters put in their product the boxes.
Yeah, like a small, right? Like a unique.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Check these out. You could get like these posters that came with them to make up a huge big poster. It's pretty cool. So you'd cut out these bottom pieces and these side pieces and sellotape them together, right? That's why they've got it like that, so they attach. This is, of course, one of my favorite. I can't remember his name now. Dang it. I can't remember his name, but like, I know what he's lighting up is called a Stoogie. Damn it. But yeah, he's like a robot hunter. I think that is what it's called, robot hunter. So yeah, look at this work, man. 50 years ago, this was what was coming out of Britain, and still is coming out of Britain, right? No superheroes, right? Britain was putting out like these amazing sci-fi stories, mutant stories and stuff that had nothing to do with Marvel or DC, right? Then there was huge. The sci-fi super pilot or whatever. Yeah. And back to number 13. Number 16.
So 2000 AD was like a UK thing.
No, it was made in the UK, but all the colonies got it, right? So I'm not sure if they got it in Canada or not, but I know it was all across Australia, New Zealand, also Asia, possibly Africa as well.
Why you guys keep calling us the colonies when we haven't been part of you guys for a long time?
We never called you guys the colonies.
That was a British, wasn't it?
It was the British, because you guys were the colonies.
Yeah.
You were colonized.
My bad. My bad.
I'll look up where else like 2080 was in the 80s was being put out. So while we go on to the next one, I think this is what is this one? Oops. Volume.
Mythology work. Arion is a 1986 film loosely based on Greek mythology. The story is standard mythological fare, but the visual presentation is what earns it a spot here. The animation is fluid, the directing is inventive, and the character designs come from the same artist who did the original Gundam. If you appreciate strong visual direction and 80s animation aesthetics over narrative depth, Arion has plenty to offer. Spriggan is a 1998.
Before we get to Spriggan, how does she spell Arian?
I don't
Because
know.
I was trying to look it up.
Arion is a 1986.
Arian. Okay. With a I-O.
Because Arian
Yeah,
sounds wrong.
Yeah, because it's I thought it was A-R-I-A, but it is this. So let's have a look at the full trailer. Man, like the art is so different. These this work on this like and there's still animation, right? Manga. This is a cover art for that. So what is it? So Eren leads an army of common people against powerful warlords, Zeus, Poseidon, and Pluto, to rescue a blind slave girl imprisoned atop Olympus by the ambitious Apollo, aided by a thief, giant, wizard, mask warrior, and a dragon. So let's check out this. It's got again, totally different art style, given that it's like Greek mythology.
昔、神と人とが分かたれる前、少年が一人命に燃えた。
All hand drawn.
動乱の中に生きる少年アリオン。
Amazing hand drawn animation.
The whole is that Greek mythology?
Yeah. Medusa.
I'm sure they have that in dubbed in English somewhere.
Oh yeah. Let's see if we can find their if it's online. I mean, if it's on YouTube.
今、神々の伝説が鼓動を始める。
Yeah, they do. They've got it in Spanish.
アリオン、渡すのだ。その子を。負けないぞ、アポロン。ほざけ、人の子が。
So, I think I found one. If it's here, there's a list of a whole bunch of okay, is it Brazil? Dang it, I've got Spanish and and in Brazil so there's this one here on YouTube, but I'm not sure if it's in English. I think it's Brazilian, right? Or is it BR? Maybe Brazil. Yeah, Spanish.
あれが父さん。
Yeah, but I'd like to watch it in English.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like, I mean, it doesn't even have subtitles in English, so it's. I think it's some Spanish person has
Well, I
loaded
mean,
up.
I like it to be dubbed in English. I don't want to have to read my movies.
I think it is in there's a whole lot of reviews on it, but I can't see any full movie. English full. Actually, hold on. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's in English, dude.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I love Greek mythology, so damn it, you bastards!
They kill Kenny.
Yes, they did.
Okay. All right. Let me. There's a whole bunch of movies here you can see. I'll put this link up so you guys can check this out. It's about 34 of them. Anime movies there you can grab. Go check out. See, this one here has got all this here, right? There's so many cool ones. Man, I gotta finish watching Captain Harlock. Is Robotech the one you're talking about?
I guess I used to watch Robotech back in the day.
Yeah. Is that the one you're talking about when we were talking about like the robot things earlier?
No, this was it's like Robotniks or Robotex, or it had like 13 episodes.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Landsman's another one that's worth watching. So yeah, I think Landsman was made out of France or something. It was a dual France and Japanese co-production. So there's a whole bunch of on this list here. There's like off that series there. But where is this? Come on, mouse, wake up. Okay. Go back. Go back. Hold on. It doesn't want to go back. Well, fine. Fine. Let's go back to number 17 on our list. Exit page. Yeah. Which YouTube just fell apart on me. Let me go back to this. I had too many windows open, it looks like. And I didn't like that. All right. Get me to number Aryan. That was Aryan. Is it Aryan? That was Venus Wars.
Spriggan is a 19.
Yeah, Spriggan. Spriggan. Have you ever watched Spriggan? Have you heard of Spriggan? Tim?
No, but I've heard of Trigon. Or Trigon.
Trigon.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Trigon,
Spriggan is awesome, if I remember right. I'm sure I've seen it. It's one of those ones where I've seen so many friggin' anime movies and shows that I forget sometimes if I've seen it or not. So let's see how much of this I remember.
1998 action showcase from Studio 4C. The story is thin and the protagonist is a generic teenage operative, but the animation quality is genuinely impressive. fight choreography is fluid and dynamic. The climax leans into Akira territory, which feels derivative. But as a pure action film with strong production values, it is an entertaining watch. Just do not expect it to stick with you afterward. Released in 1994.
All right.
Going into the 1994 Street Fighter. Two. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. So this is, and Spriggan's got an R18, R rating, right? Restricted to 18 plus. So it's going to be good as a as a mature viewer, full of action. Yes, I have seen it, just haven't rated it, I think. So it's a sci-fi, hand-drawn Japanese and adult animation, shonen, which just means made for mature for male viewers. An elite superhuman agent must stop a foreign military unit from seizing control of an ancient artifact that holds the keys to ultimate power. Ultimate power.
Ultimate
I
power.
have the power.
Elmer Fudd, if he got the sword. I have the power
of Grayskull.
Of Grayskull. Oh.
I'm trying to figure out who was the director on this and where. Yes, right. Dudes worked on Ninja Scroll, Ghost in the Shell.
Scroll. Yes.
And Akira. Right. So it's a must watch if you like any of those movies.
Oh, I love 2 out of 4, so I'm good. Yeah, I'm totally down.
Yeah. So these are like some, great names for as directors. All right. So both of them worked on this. Now let's play the full trailer. Actually, no, it's only a 30-second trailer, so it's not really that great. So let me just check if there is a Spriggan, if there is a proper English dub link I can get you guys for the movie, so you can watch it on YouTube rather than trying to hunt around for it. Actually, it looks like it's available, might be available on Netflix if you have it, right? So here's the Netflix trailer. Pause that, remove that, add this, add this, and let's see if this is English.
Suck that, eat that, shove that.
We ask you guard it against those who would use it for evil. You must not go down the same path as us. That was written by an ancient civilization. It's an edict for all of humanity.
When you are a Spriggan, you guard Arkham as well as all the artifacts. And to guard it, we have to be the most powerful as well as the most feared.
We heed this message, protect the ancient civilization, and seal it away.
That I, Jean-Jacques Mond, would rid the world of all the bottom feeders just like you.
Every organization is going after the remains of advanced ancient civilizations.
Arkham's gotta be involved for a reason. Must be something you're not telling me about.
If you can't ever die, then life will lose all its excitement.
The name you're looking for is Paul Brantz. I'm the man who'll be sending you straight to hell.
What do you think? How would you handle this situation?
You want to see all the mysteries the world has to offer.
We both know you'll never defeat me with that feeble toy.
So you'll just kill people to protect these ruins?
How many people have you let die in the name of protecting these ancient weapons?
Face reality. Don't lose your focus.
Too much blood spilled for it, and I'm not letting it cost any more. The scariest part is the minds of those who created it.
Otherwise, you'll lose more of them.
How are you going to keep it if you're dead?
Because if I'm not true to my word,
Come on, say something!
I really am no better than a berserker.
Now, you die!
You die!
I think this
Now you die!
This is actually a remake.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no. So it goes. It's all 6 episodes of the. Yeah. So it looks like it's a
remaster.
Yeah. It's a remake of the manga by Netflix. like the art, like I could tell like the art was like updated, you know, too clean compared to the original Spriggan. So yeah. All right.
As hell though. You
Pardon?
die.
Always like I don't like watching remakes of the manga because or the anime movies. I rather watch the original because I like the dirty hand drawn stuff. You know, it's got a really it's got a real.
I'm just
beauty
saying
to it.
it still looked kind of cool. Oh hey, we're back to this again.
Yes, we are.
The 1994 Street Fighter 2. Man, was it who's the Italian character with the mask?
No, the 1994 one is like the Jean-Claude Van Damme live action. This is the
1993 version. Then I'm talking about the manga, not that crappy movie. Fuck that movie.
Well, I mean, Jean-Claude was cool.
No, he wasn't. And it was a Travis. It was a tragic. It was a Travis.
Well, I mean, not the movie. I mean, like Jean-Claude is cool, not the movie.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it since I first saw it, which was like around that time, 1990.
What really annoyed me is that they somehow all knew each other, and you know why? You want to know why? Hasbro wanted to do a Street Fighter toy line, and they did. So that's why they made that movie.
Right.
It's like, oh, it makes so much sense now.
Well, it's always got to be with the toy line, right?
Right.
Just do not expect it to stick with you afterward. Released in 1994, Street Fighter II, the animated movie, is widely considered the best anime adaptation of a video game. The fight choreography was coordinated with real martial arts input, resulting in action that feels both grounded and faithful to the games. The Chun-Li versus Vega fight is still regarded as one of the best animated fight sequences in anime. The Japanese and English versions use completely different soundtracks, which actually changes the tone of certain scenes significantly. It is not deep or complex, but as action filmmaking that respects its source material, it stands above every other video game adaptation out there. Locke the Superman is a 1984 film about...
So, see, I was right, 1994. But that Vega was really...
Man.
Yeah, Vega was really creepy though in that one. I mean, he was kind of rapey.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
So
that's I don't know. It's
well,
kind of,
I mean, the movie live action and the animated thing came out the same year, so I was like confused by that.
Slightly like a year apart from each other. Yeah.
So let's watch the trailer because I don't think I've seen this ever. Might have to go and see it.
この夏、映画が戦いを超える。ゲーム史上最強最大のスーパーバトルアクション。ついにスクリーンに登場。
Ryuken. Is it Ryuken or Hayuken?
I don't know. It's but it does cover how he got the scar across his chest.
Right. Why is this? Not... It's like it won't remove this. It's weird. Sorry, like there it is, gone now. Finally. What was the red guy's name? Baron what?
Well, I mean, it was M. Bison, but they switched it to oh gosh, now I'm forgetting. No, that they changed his name to M. Bison because the boxer was originally M. Bison, and they didn't want to get sued.
So hand-drawn animation still outclasses this friggin' a lot of these CGI. So a crime boss searching for the world's best fighters pursues a talented Japanese drifter and his American ex-classmate, while an Interpol agent and a U.S. Army captain seek to bring him down. Based off the game, right? So there was never
Go ahead.
Sorry?
It was easy to kind of think of a storyline since the storyline was kind of vague in the video game to begin with.
Right. The next one, we're coming down to the last two, dude. Or is it the last one? Yep, last two. Oops. All right, let's back on the screen. Remove Ed. She said something about Superman. All right, let's see. I'm sure it's like Ryukin.
Game adaptation out there. Locke the Superman is a 1984 film about an immortal psychic drawn into a conflict involving a military leader weaponizing psychic soldiers. Locke is an interesting protagonist. His immortality gives him a detached, melancholic perspective that sets him apart from typical action heroes. The scale is ambitious for a single film, so some elements feel compressed, but the core narrative holds. For fans of classic sci-fi with psychic abilities and political intrigue, it is a solid pick. Gal Force is...
Now, let's go check out Locke, because I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
1983, dude. I was like 10 years old.
This is 1983?
Yeah. 83.
I was 4. I was 4 years old.
It's crazy, like you can seeing such amazing work that's come out that, you know, because it's come out so long time ago, we haven't, you know, we don't know much about it because of that.
Yeah, you could probably see it for free though now.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find if we got an English dub of this as a longer version trailer, or if it's online. Oh, they said they've got a bad dubbing. The English version of this is a bad dubbing. So there's a sub version, which is here. You guys can watch. There's a sub version and watch the entire full movie. This is it here.
どっかへ行くのかい？ええ、長い旅行になりそうなんです。それで羊の世話をお願いしようと思って。
It is sci-fi. Hold on. Let's get rid of that. Action sequences. It's a very it's kind of like a mix between, you know, the art style is kind of like a mix between Akira with the backgrounds, right? But then it's like One Piece, or what's that other movie I'm thinking of? Like gosh, what's the one with the robot? Little boy robot?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I can't remember, like something like that. And actually, I was looking at some Lego because there's a Lego that comes out about the. Gosh, there's a recent Lego figure that came out with a boy robot. But yeah, so it's like it's this crazy 80s or 70s art style that they have for this, which kind of like, you know, dates it compared to what you saw before, right? So you know how they updated the Spriggan we just saw earlier, so you can tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
But look at the classic French Renaissance style backgrounds and stuff here, and the character designs. This kind of reminds me of that one from Aryan, right, with the Greek mythology. The art style there is pretty.
It does look like it, yes.
All right, so Gal Force is the last one in this series of the top 20. And we just passed the 3-hour mark, and we're about to finish off here with the last one. Gal Force.
Psychic abilities and political intrigue, it is a solid pick. Gal Force is a 1986 sci-fi film following an all-female crew in the final stages of an interstellar war. For most of its runtime, it is standard military space opera, but a sci-fi twist near the end elevates it beyond its setup. The space battles are well animated, and the soundtrack matches each scene effectively. Character work outside the lead is thin, but as an entry point into the larger Gal Force series, it works well. If the premise grabs you, the later installments are worth pursuing. That is 20 retro anime films worth going back to. Some are established classics, others are buried deep in anime history waiting to be found. If you have seen any of these, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if there's a retro film I missed,
All right, let's go check out Gal Force in more detail. And let's see if there's a live. Is that Eternal Story 1986? They do. It looks like there's like a whole series. There was like a mini series, right? So there's like I think the 86 one's called Eternal Story. So let's have a look. So this is on IMDb. So galactic war rages between Imoban, paranoids, and all-female solenoids. Solenoid battleship Starleaf with crew of 7 is sent to defend Chaos, a planet that's being terraformed. However, they're part of an experiment. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I'd have to give this a go. Yeah. It's kind of interesting contrast with the cute character designs, right? And then you got this sci-fi, freaking background war elements to it. And this is what it kind of like a lot of these older classics had that element to it. Like the human characters would be like cutesy looking, more fluid designs with bright colors, but set in a devastated sci-fi world. Which kind of gave them like it almost made you feel a disconcerted feeling, because it's you're dropped into this like, oh, these are cute little characters, and then you go, oh, there's a war going on. So there are some clips here, but I'm not sure. Let's see what this is. This is it cut back? What does it mean? Like cutscene? I gotta say that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I didn't realize it was going to be
That
like
was kind of trippy.
Yeah, this is from Kid the Gamer put it out, and that was put out 2 years ago. So the link's in the chat for that if you want to enjoy it. I mean, if you want to watch it and enjoy it later. But I mean, that's a pretty cool like intro video, right?
Yeah.
It was a good little wars. I mean, it was several several scenes from the movie. I think it was made into a nice little clip. And this is our end to the show for this one. This is the last one, Tim.
Everyone,
of
those
the
are some pretty
series.
interesting. Maybe we'll do another video of that. I mean, I know a bunch of anime now that I've never even heard of.
Right. So this is the part 3 of that series of 20 classic animated movies that you got to watch before you cut it, kick it, dig a hole and jump in it, sort of thing. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you're just joining us, thank you so much. Please, rewatch at the start. Next live stream we'll be covering something else, but we're going to continue with this wonderful journey into celebrating classic stuff and good entertainment that you can enjoy with us and discover new things. So, Tim, what has been the experience over the last 3 live streams, watching these classic anime trailers and learning a bit more about them for you?
That I'm going to probably look them up and watch them all myself.
There were some good ones, man. Like, I gotta say, yeah, some I hadn't seen that really stood out. I was like, You know, like this last one, right? Gal Force 1986. I hadn't seen
The
it yet. I
Ariat was
want to
pretty
see it.
good. I kind of want to find an English dubbed version of that.
Oh, you mean because it's was it
Greek
because it was
mythology.
about Greek mythology?
Yeah, it looked like it was.
See, for me, I like Japanese supernatural stories, and I love their sci-fi and the isekai thing. But I love the stories about yokai, oni, you know, ghosts and goblins kind of things. I find because they have a rich history about that and mythology and lore about that, I really find them really interesting. And you know, I get a kick out of watching them because it's just so cool, right? And they have such a, you know, it's like there are stories in my own, you know, in my own culture, right, in the Fiji Indian culture about these things, but I have never really delved into it because I haven't been part of that culture since I was like 7.
Yeah.
However, guys, as we finish here, I just want to share the link out to our pre-launch for our 2-in-1 bundle campaign that we're doing as part of our Kickstarter starting very soon, which we talked about earlier about, like, I've got one more cover to do and then it's all completed, 100% completed. So by the time this comic book comes out there, right, it'll be 100%. Every item will be finished. Every single item, all the stickers, all the comic book pages, all the cover art, all the trading cards will be all 100% completed and ready once we kick off.
Ever think
So
about just continuing making cards and make a whole set?
yeah, dude, that's the thing about this. I want to like just keep as it's an ongoing thing. Like even after the comic book ends, the cards will continue being produced because they're all numbered. So it'd be like 1 to 1,000 or whatever. And yeah, it just keeps expanding, right? Keep expanding the Plunge universe. So yeah, so do go check this out, and also, of course, go check out Tim's link tree. The link is in chat, where you can find all his works and that is already printed and published and is out there that you can buy from Amazon. Tim, Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. That's the place everyone. And you know what? The more that I think about it, the more, since I'm doing more live events, about
Yep.
like just kind of making little mini figurines and kind of starting something like that.
Yep. That'd be cool, man. Like little toy figures. The thing is, like, you put them out there and let people paint it themselves. Because some people like doing that.
That's cool. Hey, ever heard of
You
a
know-
band called let's see. There's a Japanese horror punk band called Balzac.
I think I might have heard that. It's a punk band, right?
Yeah. They started in 92.
How do you spell that? Zach or
Balzac.
there we go. Let me see if I can find it. We'll put it.
They put out a different one every year.
What do you mean they put out a different one every year? You mean like
Well, they have this character, the Skull Man, and they have different variations of the same figure.
Okay. Let me just see if I can find this.
I just think that's kind of cool, you know.
Wait. I'm looking at YouTube and I'm like getting some crazy stuff, so I don't know which one I'm supposed to look at. Hold on, I'll show you guys what I mean. That's why you were having silence on my end. I'm like, okay, so this is the band, right? Psycho 308.
Yeah.
And then you've got this. So I'm trying to figure out which one's the skull.
Yeah, those are all the. I don't think you're gonna find that on the.
Right.
Hold on, let me share a screen. I'm gonna. All right. Hold on, share screen.
Wait, is that him? Is that them there?
Hold on.
No, I mean like this is their website. So I mean their
Yeah.
Facebook
They
page.
do have
so,
a website.
Why
Yes.
am I saying Facebook? YouTube channel. Here's their YouTube channel.
All right. Ready? I'm sharing screen.
Yeah, but you're sharing multiple screens. But here we go. Wait. I gotta remove that before I can share that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, they make multiple versions of this guy.
Oh, cool.
Every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd like release like one figurine of like a Melvin character every year or something.
That's cool, dude.
And then maybe make a whole set or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let me. What's this? Oh, this is the album. This is trailer for their 13th new album. Let's see what it is. Wait. Oh, no. Here we go.
Oh, they changed the sound a little bit. Yeah, they've changed a little bit. Great these new albums, though. You have to admit that's kind of a cool logo, though.
So that kind of reminds me of Misfits, this logo here.
Yes,
right?
they're kind of the Japanese Misfits. But they formed in '92, and then like I guess when the Misfits were without Danzig, when they were playing Japan a couple of times, they did some shows with them, and then like I think they formed Misfits Records, and they put them on there.
Oh, okay.
They basically helped them get into the United States.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a different sound for them, but yeah, their older stuff seems to be a lot better.
Yeah, this is like the classic Misfits logo.
Yeah, but they take what the Misfits did and they put a Japanese spin on it.
Mm.
The Misfits talk about like classic kind of B grade, grindhouse horror movies.
Yeah,
and the Balzac kind of talk about like ghost stuff.
Right. Let me see if I can actually find because most punk music is very short, right? Because they play so fast.
Right.
But these guys are doing like full 4 to 5 minute songs.
Well, I mean, like a lot of punk songs nowadays are a tad bit longer.
Yeah, like these guys are doing like 3.5 minute songs, which is pretty cool because I kind of don't like short songs. I think you got to have like at least 3 to 4 minutes long songs to make it last and stick in your head. So this is I see nothing, hear nothing. You know what that's off, right?
I believe Hogan's Heroes.
Yes. I see nothing. I hear nothing.
Yeah, see, that's a good one.
What's that?
That's a good one. See, that's when they're still doing the skeleton suits.
Right.
I think I think the bass player follows me on one platform.
The bass player is what?
I think I have the bass player is like Facebook friends with me or something.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you can always go, hey, we talked about you on our live stream. Come check it out.
Yeah.
That's one way of like I think sometimes people forget that there are actually people out there who appreciate you sharing information about them because that helps them grow, right? Because you're bringing them to a new audience. I actually watched someone review a comic book, and and the creator of the comic book came on there on this channel and said, "Hey, thank you for for doing this. It's gonna helping a new generation discover my work." And I think it was gosh, what was it called? I think it might be Mike McCann. Hold on. I can't remember which one I was looking at, but there was there was a because I watch music and comic book related content. So, and the guy did a deep dive into one of the characters. Let me see what character it was, because I remember like going, "Oh, this sounds kind of interesting. I should look into it." Because I'd never heard of it, but then I realized actually I might have heard of it when I was younger, right? Let me see, where is it? Do I have a name saved somewhere? Is it Newman or Nexus? Yeah, it was Nexus. So this guy did a Nexus deep dive into let me see if I can find it. Nexus I wonder if it'll come up if it's one I've watched here. Comic book. It usually comes up and shows you like if I've watched it or not. But I remember who's the writer of Nexus? Is it Mike Barron or Mike McCann? Hold on, let me see if we can go to me. Let me put about it here. Yeah, Mike Barron. Yeah, I think Mike Barron came on there and talked about it. So let me do a search and look through Nexus. Yes. So this is it. Like, this is what I mean. Like, when people appreciate it, right? When you actually talk about them. So I'd never I think I might have seen this when I was like in my early teens, right? About this. Wait, I thought I put it on screen, but it's not. Here it is. So this character, right? Nexus, and here's what I mean. So somewhere here, Steve Rude came in. Stephen Rude, who's the artist, I think, and said, "Steve, is it Steve the Dude? Rude." Yeah, look at this. This is what I was talking about, right? How people when you do talk about them and then they see it, and then the artist comes up and goes, "Hey, really appreciate you diving into the early history of Nexus and giving me and Mike's work this kind of thoughtful coverage. It means a lot to see our story getting shared with new readers who might not have discovered it yet. Thanks for taking the time to put this together." This is what I mean, saying how you should reach out to the bass player who you're friends with of Balzac,
Although
and saying, "Hey,
they're not always going to respond.
Of course not." But given that, maybe they just might, right? So here's the Nexus vid link to check out. But yeah, man, I think because everybody wants to reach to a new audience, and you're silly not to want to reach to a new audience, because I think these guys are pretty cool as a band, man. They sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
The music is good, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. It's just interesting to see another culture take something that's purely Americana and then put their own spin on it.
Right.
I mean, even like the double lock, but I mean, they've done something different with it.
Yeah.
It's clearly their own take on it.
It's more classic. It is definitely 90s sound, right?
Well, they started in '92.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to play the whole thing.
No, I just wanted to I was trying to look at the hair as well, because the Misfits got that hair, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like this. I don't know. I mean, you look at the guitarist, and it's a different. It's not like a traditionally normal looking Devil Lock.
Right. So it's pretty cool. So that's Ballsack. This is the band. I thought I put the link in the chat, but then it disappeared on me. So
I would totally go and try to get some of their earlier vinyl records. They do things like they put out a new thing where it's like you can get a record and a cassette tape.
Right. And I think a lot of people are doing that. I remember I told you that I actually put the Megadeth, and I bought everything that they put out, in the sense of they put out the tape, they put the digital tape out, they put out the album, right? Where is this? Go to Megadeth. And then also the CD. So I've got the whole bunch because I wanted to have everything from them, because I've been a fan since 88, 87, right? And I wanted this last album, every bit of it. So I bought this lot here, not the black cover, but the white cover. So you had this entire, where is it? Release, band, media, collectibles. Where is it? No, I think that's the one. So this is what's left, right? They've sold basically a lot of them. But this is, if you're interested, they're still got new versions of it coming out of that final album, Megadeth. And that is us for today, Tim. The final farewell. Take it away.
Until next time.
Bye for now. Catch you on the flip side, guys. Be well, be safe wherever you are. Ka kite anō.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.